is Miranda Reyes. Miranda is the daughter of Enrique and Maria Reyes. She is being escorted tonight.
That's right, the champs are back, alive and well for all to see. Steady striving to be better, it's Kaizen tenacity. Daily grind is steady flying, that black flag mentality. Then again, what you expecting from them boys is from the G. Walk his path, built to last, it's our proven tendency that we always wanna follow with sincere integrity. Daily implementing, practicing our PRIDE. When we do it, then we do it to you conscientiously. We gonna bring an army and they gonna bring that pride. Never what but what we do is seeking him to be our guide. Ain't no mystery, our history won't tell you any lies. Cause this legacy we living with a yeah, Friday night spotlight, see the G, gotta be legacy already. Look around G-Town lockdown, you know we gotta rock. What it means, what it seems, what the dreams like, teams like, things you hear about to get. Bring a game, let the chains do the same, make it rain like. We're not pulling punches, points will come in bunches. Take you down to Juicy's and we'll show you where our lunch is. Century of grinding, looking you'll be finding him, yeah we them, just in case you need reminding. We some ballaholics, explode like we atomic. We eatin' till we make the future metabolic. Ride until we die with Buckeye pride, it's a must. Endless love from above and God we trust. We gonna bring an army and they gonna bring the pride. Never what but what we do is seeking him to be our guide. Ain't no mystery, our history won't tell you any lies. Cause this legacy we living, we the Buckeyes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kilgore, Texas, on this homecoming night here in September, where the Gilmer Buckeyes get ready to take on the third-ranked Kilgore Bulldogs in 4A Division I. So they are a little bit bigger school than us, coached by Coach Clint Fulmer. They've got 29 returning Letterman, 13 returning starters from the 13-3 state finalist team from last year. So when we look at the Kilgore Bulldogs, they have several players to watch. Kason Brooks, the quarterback, wide receiver Lakelion Graves, who just committed to Texas State, and Coach G.J. Kinney, the former Gilmer Buckeye today. By the way, Lakelion Graves, the highest-ranked four-star recruit in the history of Texas State. So G.J. Kinney reeling them in down there with the recruits. He's got several offers out to several Buckeyes as well. But no commits just yet. D-lineman Cameron Christian, 290-pounder. He is the big nose guard, and he will be nose up tonight with Tyler Hagler, who is filling in at center duties tonight and is 300 pounds, two-time All-State himself. So look for a war in the trenches. 2025 notes, they're getting valuable experience for these young players. They played Carthage in the first half to a 7-0 contest and kind of ran out of gas. Lost 17-10 earlier this year, or 21-10, excuse me. And then last week they just unleashed on White House Wildcats, 49-14. And then they come in to play the Buckeyes here tonight. For the Buckeyes, Zay Taylor, quarterback, 17-32 for 239 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, but 23 carries for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Running back, young sophomore Tavion Horn, 40 carries, 252 yards. Solo Solomon Jackson, 6 catches for 108 yards. Trey Lee on defense with Jet Bates and Zaylon Johnson. So these guys are very, very well matched. If you watched the game last week against the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, where the Gilmer Buckeyes took a 2-score lead in at halftime and then just really kind of slid down the side of the mountain as Chapel Hill ran off 4 uninterrupted scores on the Buckeyes and got out to a lead. But otherwise, the Buckeyes played exactly like they wanted to in the first half, really learning their identity with the big boys up front, really kind of maintaining possession of the ball and really running the ball down the throats of the opponents. That's really what they want to do for tonight, but expect an absolute fist fight here tonight between the Buckeyes and the Kilgore Bulldogs. The last 2 games here in 2023, that was the state championship year for these Buckeyes, and Kilgore scored 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 52 seconds. We had a fumble recovery here that went the wrong way, and Kilgore wound up winning on the last-second touchdown. And then last year, Kilgore went to the state finals but lost on a last-second field goal to the Buckeyes in Gilmer. So these 2 teams, the last 8 quarters that they've taken the field, have just put on an absolute show. And I kind of expect the same thing here tonight as we look at a really athletic matchup between these Kilgore Bulldogs and the big, enormous Gilmer Buckeyes, who really are kind of learning to play this new style of, let's call it, ground-and-pound football, maintaining the ball, running the ball, and trying to take lots of time off the clock, shorten the game, grab a quick lead, and then make their opponents drive the length of the field. So good game expected here tonight. Once again, the Buckeyes' strategy since Coach Metzel has taken over this program and led the Buckeyes 3 out of 5 years to a state championship appearance, won 1 state title back in 2023, has been very simply schedule every and anybody that can expose your weaknesses so that you can expose them early and then go to really improve on those. So we've seen the method to the madness work as the Buckeyes punch way above their weight class, starting out with Pine Tree. Came away with the victory there last week against Chapel Hill. You saw the athleticism. I expect those guys to be playing after Thanksgiving. And then here tonight against the Kilgore Bulldogs, ranked number 3 in the state, and expecting a return to the state championship game where they were a state finalist last year and lost in the state finals, but also lost to the Gilmer Buckeyes at home. So you can see exactly how the Buckeye strategy works play great teams early and try to expose your own weaknesses, and that way you get to work on them when the games count. It's easy to say that these first 5 games don't count, but that's actually the truth. As the Buckeyes next week will have the Lindale Eagles, and then follow up with 5A, the Brenham Cubs in Longview at a neutral site game before taking a bye week and starting the ever-important district schedule. They will take on the Van Vandals and Pleasant Grove very early in the district schedule, which probably will determine the district championship and the seeding going into the playoffs. And that's really what this Buckeye team is built for. It's the marathon, not the sprint, but the sprint is going to be on tonight with the voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash, tuning in with us here tonight. Jeff, I tell you what, last week the Buckeyes saw a lot of athleticism from Chapel Hill, got up early and then kind of started sliding down the mountain, and really young team trying to figure out how to stop the momentum, and couldn't pull it off late in the fourth quarter after some turnovers, onside kicks. Everything started going Chapel Hill's way. Really similar team here tonight with the Kilgore Bulldogs. Very athletic team, returning to the state championship is their goal. We're state finalists last year, and they got some athletes, they got some speed, and this really should be the fifth quarter of what we saw last week.
Well, Todd, you said a whole lot of intelligent things. I mean, I was on the side, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time you were talking. I really was. I learned a lot, a great color commentary, but I am convinced, beyond any shadow of a doubt, there is no one listening to us right now. It is dead air because people are still at La Finca. They got 15 minutes to get home. I hope that you will repeat some of that montage of information,
of brilliance,
not a
chance.
That glimmering information that you shed there. I hope you'll do it again right before game time when everybody logs on to actually listen. But yeah. I agree with you that for our parents who are listening, because they love us and they'll listen the whole time, I think you're right. This is Kilgore. Kilgore is Chapel Hill 2.0.
Yeah.
And they were last year, and they were the year before that. I mean, these schools, they're Division I. We always punch above our weight class in the opening season. It always pays off in the district and then, of course, into the playoffs. But these guys, are man, these are some athletes on the field. We're watching them out here behind us warming up a while ago. And we're going to take a break because they're going to take a moment of silence to recognize the Charlie Kirk yesterday. And so we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Back to Kilgore Stadium here, homecoming for these Kilgore Bulldogs. And Jeff, I tell you, if the last 2 years and the last 8 quarters that these two teams have gotten together is any indication, we are just in for a barn burner tonight, as both of these teams very talented and very used to success. And I'll just put it lightly and just mildly say they don't like each other. These guys in orange and black tonight and the guys in red and black tonight, I don't know what it is. It's a rivalry that's built up that just seems to spill over into any and everything that Gilmer and Kilgore do. Of course, we have 2 state-ranked finalists in terms of the bands, They compete with the girls' sports. They compete in girls volleyball, girls basketball, and everywhere that the Gilmer Buckeyes square off with the Kilgore Bulldogs, it is a dogfight, no pun intended.
Yeah, listen, my brother-in-law is from Kilgore, and it causes family problems this time every year, and it takes us a few months to get over it. Like by Thanksgiving, things have settled a bit. But, he calls me and talks about how we cheated, and I call him and talk about how they cheated, and it's just not good for the family dynamic, My poor sister. But it is. You're exactly right. It's one of those, great East Texas rivalries. It's like us and Carthage. Used to be us and Gladewater, years ago, back in the 80s.
It's a lot
and 90s.
like that. It's like Gilmer grew up, and now we've got the new East Texas rival. Of course, we got the Carthage rivalry, but Kilgore is just as big a rival with Carthage. And then, of course, Kilgore plays in this 4A Division I District of Doom. They've got Lindale. They've got Chapel Hill. They play all of the teams that we play. As a matter of fact, if you look at their preseason schedule and our preseason schedule, there's only one difference, and that's we got Brenham and they got Carthage because we don't want to play Carthage, and Carthage doesn't want to play us early. So we kind of skip that and go find other teams to play. But everybody else on the preseason schedule is exactly the same. As that old proverb, iron sharpens iron, is exactly what the mantra is, both for the Kilgore Bulldogs and the Gilmer Buckeyes. But, of course, you can kind of say that with the teams that seemingly is kind of locked in the preseason. I don't think that there is a lot of years to come that we will not be playing Kilgore in the preseason. And this rivalry is going to do nothing more but get more and more heated every year. And, I don't know how good you can be in terms of the football program, but when you look at the last 5 years, there have been 5 state championship appearances between 2 teams and 1 title. And that's kind of saying something in terms of the quality of play.
Caliber of play.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kilgore, I'm joking about my brother-in-law kind of, but listen, these guys are good.
Yeah,
they are so good. I mean, they have got some athletes that, I mean, just, both schools. I mean, all of East Texas. Man, you look around East Texas, it used to be, remember when we used to play Dangerfield and Gladewater and all the, Atlanta, and those were all the big teams. And, of course, we move up, and those guys are still, 3A. And now it's like Carthage and Kilgore and all these guys. I mean, there's just
Lindale and
my gosh, yes.
Van and Pleasant Grove.
And our head coach is just a sick person who schedules these Division I teams. I miss the days. I know we're supposed to do it this way, but I miss the days of it's 70-0 at in the beginning of the third quarter, and you're like, I'm comfortable. I was so bored. I want to be bored again, Todd.
Well,
and he schedules these Division I teams that are not only Division I. I don't mind you want to schedule Division I teams, go for it. It makes you better. He schedules the best ones in the state.
This one, Jeff, ranked number 3 in the state by Dave Campbell, Texas Football.
Yeah.
2-0, ranked number 3 in East Texas behind Carthage and Longview.
Yeah.
And you just kind of watch. They're not that much more talented. They're certainly not bigger than Gilmer. And when these two teams take the field, you can throw all that out the window because these guys just want to get it on.
And a lot of coaches, here's what I like about Alan Metzel. A lot of coaches, they don't want to do that kind of schedule, even though they know it makes their team better, because they don't want to take the flack for it, right? They don't want to have the people in the stands, we lost a game, or, they should have done this and that. But he doesn't, it doesn't even faze him. He knows if you play hard teams, it makes you rise to the occasion, and your team gets better.
Well, especially he understands that it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think if you look all the way back to the breakthrough year is what I call it, back to 2003, when this team really in Coach Traylor's third year understood that we can be a championship caliber program. We played the Salina Bobcats, who had 12 state championships, and I remember them pulling up, and we played them in Mesquite, and we thought, oh my gosh, do we even belong on the field with these guys? And I mean, we smoked them, The next week was longer than the Buckeyes. In other words, the season was our 13th game. That's longer than the Buckeyes had played in 50 years in terms of the amount of games, all the way back to the 1980 team that went to the state championship. It's a long time to play football, and a lot of times these guys just want to understand how do I make that marathon sprint of 15 games that I'm going to have to play with 2 preseason games at the same time? There's a marathon to go here. And to your point, that's what Coach Metzel knows and understands. If you're going to run a marathon, you got to be in shape to run a marathon.
But, Todd, the thing is, a lot of coaches, they're worried about their stats, right? I don't want to. I want to play teams where I can run up. My game wins look good, right? I want to be one of the winningest coaches, so I got to win games. So I schedule, teams that we know we can beat, and and I love the fact that's not his philosophy. He's like, yep, we're going to get bruised and banged, and we're going to win some and lose some. Now he wants to win every week. Don't make any mistake about that. But the fact that he schedules teams of this caliber to get his team ready for when it counts. I find that's one of my favorite things about him. I think he's a wonderful coach because of it.
Well, and the thing that you see, Jeff, is that 3 out of 4 state championship appearances. He was the coach of the year coming into this year, because you look around and somebody asked Coach Traylor about it down at UTSA, and Coach Traylor pointed out and said, I never did that. I never went back-to-back. And, of course, we know how great Coach Traylor is, and, of course, everybody forgets Coach Metzel has been on this staff for 25 years.
Yeah,
he's been here the whole time.
Yeah, he has.
With one brief interlude. So it's not like he's new to this equation or new to this program. He's kind of been steering things here for a long time. And the path that he has decided to take with this team and teams going in is, hey, we've got to be our best when it counts. And we look at November. And if you want to be good in November, you better play tough teams in September, and that's exactly what the Buckeyes do.
And the Buckeyes take the field here in Kilgore, hostile territory, and they are making their way out to the field for the national anthem, the coin toss, and the beginning of this game. And, these guys are licking their wounds. They're still aggravated about the loss to Chapel Hill after having such a commanding lead in the first half of the game. And don't think that they're going to let their foot off the gas tonight against this Kilgore, very capable, by the way, Kilgore team. This is going to be a dogfight tonight.
Yeah, well, if you look at last week's score against Chapel Hill, it really was not reminiscent of what the game was really like. Had 3 plays, and I say that with all sincerity, had 3 plays gone differently, the Buckeyes may have been on the blowout side of that, and we would be talking about a state-ranked team versus a state-ranked team. Both of them top 5 in their divisions in the state.
Yeah, Alan and I talked about that in the coaches show. The momentum, how important momentum is in this game. It's what I love about the game. I think it's the greatest game in the world because the momentum can shift on a pick six turns the whole game around, or a fumble, or whatever, and then all of a sudden it just shows how mental this game is too, because the other team gets defeated mentally. They start laying down, making mistakes, getting frustrated. The other team says, "Hey, we got wind in ourselves," and then it shifts back the other way. It's just the greatest game in the world.
Well, some of it is learning that with a young team, that with the Buckeyes, a young team that's learning to play differently. For 20 plus years, Jeff, the Buckeye philosophy was play as many plays as you can. That way our athletes have more and more opportunities to get back into games and win games. And with playing to our strength in terms of the size that the Buckeyes have this year, and we don't get me wrong, we still have athletes, but we don't have a Will Henderson who runs a 10-1-500 that just touches the ball and all of a sudden he's gone out the gate. We've got quality players, but that doesn't mean that Kilgore and Chapel Hill doesn't have some of those guys.
Well, keep in mind that same team you're talking about not only had a Will Henderson running a 10-1, there was 3 other guys that not only was the winning 4x100 state track champions
2 years back-to-back,
but they also set the state record.
Yeah.
So we had a 10-1, 2 10-5s, and a 10-8. That's world-class speed all at one time. And so you look at that and you say, well, we don't have what we did. Well, we have what we usually have. That was a weird, odd year. That's like never happens. Well, it's kind of like the size we have this year. We never have that kind of size.
And in both instances, we'll take it. And if it ever happens at both times at the same time, we're going to be looking to freeze time.
Could you imagine if we had the size that we have this year?
It was funny because I was texting back and forth to Will, and who, by the way, is going to get several carries tomorrow against Incarnate Word for the Roadrunners. Good luck to Coach Traylor and are both Coach Traylors and both Coach Turners down at UTSA are Buckeyes away from home. But I was texting back and forth with Will, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Todd, how much you think I would have rushed for last week behind that line?"
Yeah.
And I said 3.1. And he said 3.1 yards per carry. I said, no, 3.1 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're getting ready for the national anthem, but we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about some keys to the game.
As they honor America.
For nearly 150 years, Crowley Funeral Home has offered the highest quality in funeral services to the families of Upshur County for a fair and reasonable price. Led by Gilmer graduate Troy Murray, our staff stands ready at all times to tenderly guide your family in their time of need in all aspects of funeral planning, such as pre-need and at-need, and all types of services from cremation and memorial services to traditional funerals, with attention to every detail. At Crowley Funeral Home, we've been treating families as our own since 1883.
There's a real advantage to being a Gilmer National Bank customer. From the low fees on commercial loans and the hassle-free process and ease of local decisions. If you appreciate personal service and great savings rates, no matter what your age, come see us today in Gilmer or Longview, where the pace is a little slower and the smiles a little brighter. Because we want to hear you say,
Gilmer National Bank. That's my bank.
Gilmer National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, we are back in Kilgore and getting ready for a dogfight, and that's no pun intended since we're playing the Kilgore Bulldogs tonight. Todd, you said some very intelligent things in pregame tonight, and I know a lot of people may be just logging in, so I want to talk about it again. In 2023, as we make our way out to midfield here for the coin toss, I'll let you keep an eye on that when I talk. Can't do two things at once at this age. But, in 23 we played these guys here, and Kilgore, stunningly came back. The Buckeyes had them down. Kilgore comes back in the final minutes of the game in 2023. We fumbled the ball. I think we had the fumble. I maintain that to this day, but I'm not sour grapes.
Film don't lie, but
yeah,
you're
film
right.
don't lie. And they got it, picked it up, and they scored a touchdown to win in the last seconds of the game. Then you go to last year. They come to Gilmer, and we beat them in a last-second field goal. So the last two games against these two teams have just been absolute dogfights that came down to the final seconds, not minutes, seconds of the game. And so these two teams, there is no love lost between them. They don't like each other. This is going to be a dog fight tonight. And I hope the Buckeyes are geared up, locked, and loaded, and ready to go, because I'm going to tell you, this Kilgore team right here, now remember, in 23, they beat us, and then we went one state. Last year, we beat them, and then they went and played for the state championship. Got beat by Anna at state.
Yeah.
But this year, it's all back to square one, and this should be a really good game.
No, I expect such. And, Jeff, the Buckeyes will have the ball to start the game. Kilgore won the toss and deferred, and going to give the Buckeyes the ball to start. And the Buckeyes, let's call it the formula, is to pound the rock and stay ahead of the chains. And so one of the keys to the game to look for, obviously, when you got real close games, is you don't want to have turnovers, you don't want to have second and long, and you don't want to have third and unmanageable. And that goes on both sides of the ball. So for the Buckeyes tonight, look for the running game. Of course, Zay Taylor, who is a talented quarterback, but also a talented runner of the ball, and getting themselves into space behind the big offensive line. And then the young sophomore, Tavion Horn, has done such a fabulous job bursting onto the scene here so far this year, really running hard north and south. And we are going to get it on here with the Buckeyes having the opportunity. Jeff, one of the other keys to the game that we talked about last week, special teams. And watch this here as the kickoff happens. Kilgore has a really good kicking game, and the Buckeyes are going to have to keep up with those hitting yards tonight. So here we go, kicking it off, Kilgore versus Gilmer.
All right, here's the opening kickoff, and it is a big one. right out the back of the end zone. There'll be no return there for the Buckeyes. On that side of the field over there was Horn, our deadly running back, sophomore, but runs like a senior, and he didn't get a chance on that return. You can see that big foot you were talking about there from the kicker from Kilgore. So Buckeyes going to come out 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line. And let's see if that offense can get something going against this deadly. And always, you know, the thing about Kilgore that's always frustrating is they always have a great secondary.
So if the secondary plays well tonight, they're going to be tackling the Buckeyes because we're not going to put it in the air a whole lot. Just watch for the big offensive line to try to control things up front. And a big matchup, 72 versus 84. Those are two All-Americans lining up there on the left-hand side of the line.
All right, here's the opening snap. Zaid rolls to the right. And looking for a man out in the flats. Ball falls incomplete. That pass was intended, I believe, for number 10, Corbin Jones.
Yeah, I think that was 19. That's Gage Trosbach, the young sophomore out there, trying to run that little out route, but that pass was at his feet.
Yeah, that was 18. That was
18 Trosbach.
Yeah.
Well covered. And the 2nd and 10, not really where the Buckeyes want to be. So look for them to run something here, probably stay left-handed. But Kilgore moved big number 84. He's a big 4-star defensive tackle over in front of Ismail Kamara. Watch that battle tonight.
All right, handoff, Horn up the middle, got room to run, lowers his head, and look at Big Ishmael, number 72, driving his number 7 about 15 yards back and in the dirt.
Yeah, that was a really good block there by 72 Kamara as they ran right off his backside and pick up big 7 yards on that first down play. And if you're the Buckeyes, you may just rinse and repeat that and say, stop it. I dare you. Big Van Song, the young sophomore, move in from Lindale playing left guard. That is about 300, well, that's 700 pounds of humanity there on the left-hand side of the line.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback keeper cuts back and gets driven by about 6 Bulldogs. And that is going to be 4th and probably 1. So the Buckeyes are going to have to punt on their first possession tonight. As they get ready for that, Todd, I want to give a shout-out to the kids at Gilmer High School today. I had an opportunity to go over to CUTX and spend 4 hours training a program they have called a Smart Bank. They actually have a bank inside the school that the kids run. There's 21 students participating in it. Great group of kids. Restored my faith in humanity. Great group today. Really enjoyed them. There's the snap. A little bit of a high snap, but he was able to field it. And what a great punt there by our punter. Takes a Buckeye bounce all the way down to the 16-yard line. And, I mean, talk about flip the field.
Yeah, we will take it as that is a great punt inside the 20 as the Buckeyes come out throwing on first down. Now, kind of uncharacteristic as they kind of fake to the left. Of course, all those first 10 plays, Jeff, are scripted offensively. But the Buckeyes kind of having their way running the football, but unable to pick up that 3rd down and short behind the quarterback run. He cuts it back to the left side. Now let's see if this black flag defense can 3-and-out the Kilgore Bulldogs. And quite frankly, Jeff, look for them to come out in 22 personnel, 2 running backs. They pretty much want to do the exact same thing. They want to run the ball.
All right, here we go. They're bringing out, looks like 3 receivers wide to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the back. Pretty much the same type of setup that you're going to see from Gilmer often tonight. So here we go. Here's the first possession for Kilgore. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle, into traffic. And he is going to be driven back for a loss as the Buckeyes just swarm that one.
Yeah, big time. And that's Tyler Hagler, who lost his helmet. That's something that he did a whole lot last year and has come out for a snap. But Davion King comes in, and they did nothing but go backwards there. 3-man front, brought in an extra defensive back, which is still on the field right now. Now they're switching out and going to a 4-man front, Jeff. So now they're going to go back to a run defense and put an extra guy in the box there. So the chess match starts already between the black flag and Tommy, our defensive coordinator, and the offense here for Kilgore.
All right, going on a long snap count, trying to draw him. Like you said, you got a 4-man front up front, drops back, quick pass, and look at this.
Great
defensive
play.
Coverage. What a great job by number 1.
That's
Tavion.
And here we go back to nickel situation. Now Kilgore put in a long situation. And the black flag defense very, very well prepared. Let's see if the Buckeyes can lay their ears back with a three-man front here and get some pressure. Big Hagler goes back into the game. Of course, he's playing center, but that big nose guard, Jeff, that we've expected from Kilgore is now moved outside, and he's heads up on Ismail Kamara. So the two All-Americans going at it head-to-head here in these first series. Let's see how all this pans out.
All right, Buckeyes go back to a three-man front. Going to launch one down the sideline. Got a man open, and he makes the catch as he just got behind us. Number 27, Pinckney, on the coverage for the Buckeyes. Big first down there for Kilgore.
Yeah, that's just a mistake as we get caught with our eyes in the backfield, and the number one receiver that just committed to Texas State, and G.J. Kinney, the first four-star commit in the history of Texas State, as G.J. comes back to East Texas and pulls out a four-star. We just ran right by our cornerback. We were expecting pass there, 3rd and long, and that's just one you can't give up. 1st and 10, Kilgore from there on 40 now.
All right, here's the snap. Quick pitch, left side, good pursuit, and he gets around the corner and a big first down after about 16 yards. There's a flag
that's coming
on the
back
play.
For a hold. That's going to come back for a hold, Jeff, because that flag's thrown at about the 46-yard line.
Yeah, anytime you've got somebody that gets free around the end that easily, you got to look for the hold. And hopefully that is going to be the call. That'll be a 10-yard spot foul.
Yeah, here comes Tyler Hagler again, who's got his helmet off, who can't keep his helmet on. Remember 2 years ago, Jeff, that was the case, that every time.
Illegal block in the back. Number 10 in the offense. 10-yard penalty for responding to the foul.
Illegal block in the back is
that's
actually the call.
1st and 15.
That is the 15-yard variety.
Yeah, so Hagler saying, look, I'm getting hands to the face here. As the Buckeye defense is switching out now, giving Hagler some reps, and then Davion Keene coming to get some reps as he plays himself in shape. 1st and 15, and this is probably a throw-in situation once again out to the wide side. They've taken advantage of it. But watch number 4. That's their number 1 target, and that's Lakevion. That's the big guy that's just now committed to Texas State, and he's the far outside receiver.
All right, three-man front once again. Quarterback drops back, quick pass, slant across the middle. Big yards there. That's about a 14-yard gain and will be a first down.
But, Jeff, unlike last week with Chapel Hill, where the quarterback was, I think, 3 of 11 to start the game, that's not going to be the case here with number 2, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. He is very, very accurate with the ball in that short space, and this defense's secondary is going to get tested. It's up to the Buckeye defensive line, the well-touted defensive line, to try to get pressure and force him into scrambling situations where he's not so good. Coverage is going to matter as the Bulldogs bring it over into Buckeye territory.
All right, notice the Buckeyes go back to a 4-man front, handoff left side, and he just finds a hole. And I don't know how he got through there, but, boy, he spotted a hole and shot through it like a rocket. That's a 15-yard pickup and another first down for Kilgore. Moving the ball confidently down the field.
Yeah, just not a good job scraping there by the Buckeye linebackers as they get reached by the big left. He's number 72. Look at the big left tackle, Jeff, that's out there for Kilgore, as he does a good job sealing Hagler at his defensive tackle spot and getting to the second level and enabling that big run now down inside the 30, knocking on the door of the red zone. The Bulldogs got a nice drive going here to start this game.
All right, here's the snap. Drops back, looking to pass. Number 10, and he bobbles it. That's good defense there by the Buckeyes. Number 25, Johnson on the coverage for the Buckeyes. That's going to fall incomplete. These Kilgore Bulldogs like to put the ball in the air, and I want you to remember that, Carthage, as good as they are, ranked number 1, these guys had them down 7-0 at halftime when they played them in the first game of the season. This is an electric offense for Kilgore this year.
Yeah, no, they are running this offense for the 3rd year in a row. Obviously, lots of practice last year going all the way to the state finals. People don't realize how crucial it is for these backups that are now starters because they got 5 extra weeks of practice when the Bulldogs went to state last year.
All right, handoff left side again, and their back turns on the Jets around the corner. Picks up some yards. I don't see a flag on the play.
No, I thought that was a hold there by number 72, the left tackle, on Hagler that kind of got around the edge there. But that's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. And, Jeff, I can already tell you, Kilgore's in field goal range right now. But at 3rd and 1, they're going to go for it. I mean, they're going to play with nothing to lose. And right now, number 4 is heads up man-to-man on the outside. That's a dangerous place to be. for the Buckeyes. See if they don't go out to number 4, man-to-man coverage. Here come the splits.
All right, here's the snap. In the air, going for the end zone, and he pulls it down, and they're saying that is incomplete. He must have stepped out of bounds. We didn't look back. We were running, stride for stride. That was Solomon Jackson on the coverage, but didn't look back. If he would have been able to stay in bounds, that might have been 6.
Yeah, not expecting 4th down. Here comes the beef package. Ismail Kamara and Davion King are going to be in there side by side with Hagler. We're going to go to a 5-man front, and I'll tell you what, fellas, here comes the will to say who has the most will. As the big boy packages in there on both sides.
No, buddy, let me tell you, that is a lot of humanity on that line right there. That is some big boy. There's like
and Kilgore takes the time
There's
out.
like 2,500 pounds of men out there. They're going to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
And back to the action here, a big 4th down and 1 as Kilgore thinking they're going to go for it. Now, Jeff, they have an unbelievable kicker, but a 42-yard field goal at this point, maybe not something that they want to do deep in Buckeye territory, but the beef package is in for the Buckeyes, 5-man front. When you got Hagler, King, and Kamara, all 3 in there with Jet Bates and Trey Lee, that's all the firepower that the Buckeyes got and will be shooting at one time. And Trey Lee back there at linebacker, and they go to a direct power eye, and we're going to find out who the tough boys are right here under center 4th down.
This got to be a pitch. They're not going to come up the middle. There's no way. Look at this, right up the middle. And they had faith in their boys, and I'll tell you what, that is so much humanity on that line, and that offensive line able to pull that off and get the couple of yards they needed. And that moves the chains once again. That is confidence in your offensive line right there.
Yeah, that's a really good play. They ran off of left tackle, which has been their strength, and you had about half of the Buckeye firepower, so to speak. See now Kamara moves over heads up with that big left tackle, so he's going to have his hands full now on 1st and 10 as the beef stays in the game for the Buckeyes.
All right, here's the snap, handoff up the middle, number 5. Lowers his head, good for 2 or 3 maybe on that carry, and that's all you need on 1st down when you're inside the red zone.
Yeah, 2nd and 2 and staying in positive yardage is what exactly what you want to do. They ran right at the left tackle, and Kamara kind of shut that down and forced kind of a bounce out to the outside. And positive yards is something that Kilgore is good at, keeping their head down and keeping that forward body lean going forward. Of course, the Buckeyes want to get penetration and push them backwards, and they've certainly got the meat package in to do that.
All right, one back in the backfield, number 5. Here's the snap, looking to the air, going in the air to the corner, and he is going to be out of bounds again. And again, we've got our, just incomplete. But again, we've got to be able to turn back and look for that ball. Luckily, that's a drop, incomplete. You're going to see them go to number 4 quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, they may do it again right here, Jeff.
Yeah,
3rd down and 6.
That's their stud. Graves is his name.
And watch the Buckeyes try to bring pressure right here as that big beef package is going to eat all the offensive linemen, and that leaves Trey Lee to blitz if he wants to. That's a package the Buckeyes have put together before.
All right, here's the snap. Rolling to his right. Got some pressure. Going to have to run for it. He dumps one, and it's dropped. So that's going to fall incomplete and bring up 4th and long. So now they're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, and let's see if Kilgore can get some points out of this. Plenty of leg, but of course, this is going to be, Jeff, let's call it 34 yards, which is not a gimme. That is not a gimme kick, but their kicker is quite capable. Now, he's left-footed, but he can kick it all the way out to 50 yards. The question is, can he kick it straight? Pretty consistent. Now, remember, the Buckeyes have blocked a field goal already this year.
Yeah, he's right down the gut on that one. He had He could have kicked that from 40, no problem. He's got a foot. So Kilgore goes up on the scoreboard first, 3-0 over Gilmer with 5:36 left to play. We'll be right back after these messages.
Since 1900, our customers have relied on and placed their trust in First National Bank of East Texas. Today, we remain committed to earning that trust and serving the needs of families and businesses throughout East Texas. Because time never stands still, you can depend on us to meet the changing needs of future generations for the next 125 years. You can bank on that. First National Bank of East Texas.
"84-yard drive taking over 5 minutes there as the Kilgore Bulldogs drive down into the red zone and are stopped by the Buckeyes and settle for a field goal. And you can see the weapon that number 82 is, kicking it out of the end zone, or excuse me, 83. Left-footed kicker, and he can boot it, Jeff. And he showed what he could do then. And that was, as you said, that was easily good from probably 45. So 12 plays on that drive, 5 first downs, 7 first downs, average 5 yards to play. Not bad for the Kilgore offense to start this game. They lead 3-0.
All right, here's the kickoff. They're going to kick it deep to the 1-yard line. It's going to get returned by number 6, Horn. Found a hole. Up the middle he goes, getting behind his blockers, and all the way out to the 34-yard line. Nice return there by Horn.
Sets the Buckeyes up in really good field position and make them think twice about kicking it over there to number 6. As Horn, and I think he missed his hole, Jeff. If he'd have cut it back this side, he really had something going. But the big offensive line now for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes last drive 3 and out, but they came out and threw it on first down and then wound up not going for it in their own territory, 4th down and 1. But I'm not sure, down 3-0 now. We're halfway through the first quarter, Jeff, and this is only the second possession. I mean, Coach Metzel may be able to be in 4-down territory if it gets close from here on in.
All right, here's the first snap. Second possession. We got illegal procedure against the Buckeyes. Horn moved a little early. I tell you, Todd, going back to that last series, though, Kilgore really did a good job calling plays all the way down the field, drove the field. That's a big win for the Buckeyes to only let them walk away with 3 after that. I thought the play calling was a little puzzling. You got 3 or 4 yards on first down. Why not just keep pounding the rock? Yeah. You put it in the air twice and ended up with 4th down.
Number 4, Lakevion, is their number 1 target, and that's who they tried to go to 3 times. He doesn't have a catch yet.
All right, here's the snap. Fires a bullet, but it's tipped. Cade drops back, fires a bullet to the right side. It's going to fall incomplete. I'm not sure who he was trying to hit there. I think maybe Solomon Jackson's out there. Yeah, that was Solomon.
And, Jeff, this is the situation the Buckeyes do not want to get themselves into. 2nd down and long and into throwing situations. This is where they get themselves out of their rhythm, trying to really pound the rock, because now even if you do run the football, you're going to be down 3rd down the long, and this is probably going to try to be 3rd and manageable.
All right, Horn comes around the left side, and, boy, he gets shoestring tackled, and if he had missed that by another couple of inches, that would have been a good first down for Horn.
Yeah, so, Jeff, you see how this young Buckeye team is learning to play, right? So there have been years past where 3rd down and 21 was nothing that the Buckeyes were worried about. That's not the case this year, as we want to try to be 3rd and manageable. Now we find ourselves in 3rd and 11, and it all started on first down with a pre-snap penalty. That's the kind of things that the Buckeyes cannot do. Now we're going to put it in a situation where probably Tate's going to try to get out into space, and now just as soon as I say that, they come into a running formation.
All right, here's the snap. Rolling to his right. Cade looking downfield, launches a rocket. Downfield, number 17, Solomon, reels it in, drops it. I thought he had that for sure, and it looked like he pushed off. I was a little concerned about a flag there, but he is unable to reel that one in. That would have been huge for the Buckeyes. 4th and 11, Buckeyes have to punt once again.
And just little things, right? Just the little plays that aren't made that make all the difference in games. And it's only a 3-0 game, but the Buckeye offense has not had a first down all night so far. and most of it is because they've been playing uphill, right? So the pre-snap penalty, just the little things that make all the difference. Let's see if the Buckeyes get another good punt out of this.
All right.
Goes out of bounds at the 40.
Not quite as good as the last one. It goes out at the 40. That last one went all the way to the 16-yard line. And so come off the side of the foot of the punter. And so Kilgore looking at great field position once again, the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and this is a turning point right here, Jeff, in the game, because for 12 plays, Kilgore kept it and made 7 first downs, drove it right down the field until the Buckeye defense bowed their neck. The Buckeyes do not want to spend minute upon minute upon minute on defense and then go 3 and out on offense. They want to flip that in the formula. They want to be the ones on the field on offense and keep the defense for Kilgore grinding. And number 4 comes all the way to this side, Jeff, with 5 defensive backs on the field. Let's see what the Bulldogs try to do here on first down.
All right, Brooks, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Handoff, 0, left side. Great job of penetration on the right side. Who was that, Ector again?
Yeah.
That Ector can move his feet. Yeah, and what a great job. That's twice tonight already.
Watch the replay, Jeff. He just fires across from his linebacker position and seals that.
Almost overruns him.
Yeah, stops that back right there, but manages to hang on. It's 2nd and 13 now. This is the position that Jeff, the Bulldogs do not want to be in. It's 2nd and long. But the difference is they got number 4, and they're not scared to throw him the ball when the chips are on the table. And right now, 2nd and long, the chips are on the table for Kilgore. Watch number 4.
Yeah, they're going to put the ball in the air here. Here's the snap. Drops back, looking downfield, launches a bullet
to number 4.
Behind number 4, and that's going to fall incomplete, bring up 3rd and 13.
5 incompletions in a row for the quarterback. Joe Dodd tells us from the stat side. Once again, we want to give kudos, Jeff, out to our broadcast team. Look at the great graphics that we've got here tonight, and we don't necessarily tie it into with the clock. We got a clock cam, but we're also broadcasting from the stands tonight.
Yeah, these guys need a raise.
Big 3rd down play coming up here. Buckeyes need to get off the field.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Interesting choice. Big hole, and a great call there as they get across that first down marker and pick up another first down and eating clock and eating field.
Yeah, that is the kind of play right there that gets you in trouble if you're the Buckeye Black Flag defense. You got them in 3rd and 13, and a draw play goes for 15 yards and a first down in a 3-man front with all those DBs out there. And that's a great call from Kilgore, but a missed opportunity for the Buckeyes, and Kilgore's got it back on Buckeye side of the field. And once again, as you said, Jeff, grinding and eating this clock.
All right, looking to the left, short pass, complete to number 7. Gets around his block. Boy, his receiver did a good job picking up his block out there, and that's another Kilgore first down.
Yeah, just picking on that secondary with a quick screen pass out there, and number 18 blocking up on the secondary. And the fast receivers, Jeff, they get all the way down to the 34-yard line. And now they've got this formation out here, this diamond formation out here. And they're susceptible to the screen pass right away.
All right, they're going to go to the left instead of the right. We saw Chapel Hill do that a lot last week. They lined up 4 receivers to the right side in a little diamond pattern and then dump it to the odd man out to the set. And what they're trying to do is shift the whole secondary over there and get a one-on-one matchup on the short side of the field. And they got some yardage out of that. Looks like 2nd and 2.
Yeah, so, Jeff, after 5 straight incompletions, now there's 2 straight completions as the Buckeyes shift some first-teamers back into the secondary, and Kamara comes back on the defensive line to try to create some pressure here.
Here's the snap. Drops back. Got time. Throws across the middle. Great defense by the Buckeyes. And that is, I think, number 14 for the Buckeyes. That is Johnson once again. And he does a good job coming up, getting that arm across there, and does a great job of timing it so he doesn't get a flag.
Yeah, and here's where the Buckeye defense really needs to bow its neck. This entire first quarter has been eaten by 2 long drives, and the Buckeye offense has done 3 and out twice. So there's been really no Buckeye offense to speak of despite getting the first possession of the game. On this 3rd and 2 right now, the Buckeye defense needs to have a tackle for a loss, knock them out of field goal range, and turn this ball over on 4th down.
All right, here's the snap. Dropping back, quick pass, slant, and he caught it for a touchdown. And that is just, and I mean, he put it right on the money. And receiver never slowed down. And that is Kilgore capitalizing with the first touchdown of the night.
Yeah, and just finding man-to-man coverage and just beat number 14, Solomon Jackson, on the slant route. And that's just a nice pitch and catch and execution on Kilgore's point. And once again, you go back, Jeff, to that 3rd and 13 where the Buckeyes absolutely had them stopped and then gave up a first down on a draw play. And those are the kind of plays that make all the difference in this game. And it's just the little things. But the Buckeyes now on a 10-point hole deficit to start this first quarter. Really, Kilgore is kind of dominated. But when you look at it, Jeff, there's about 4 plays. Right? 4 plays when you get to some really good teams. Same thing in the playoffs. How do those 4 plays go? If you look at those opportunities, the 4th down that Kilgore converted, you get the 3rd down and 13 that Kilgore converts on a draw play, and then that little 6 inches there, that man-to-man coverage, we can't get in front of it, and that slant pass goes for a touchdown.
61 yards, 2 minutes, 27 seconds on that drive.
7 plays, Jeff, and 5 first downs. Once again, Kilgore, if we look at time of possession, Jeff, and the 1:56 left in his first 12-minute quarter, Kilgore's probably had the ball 9.5 minutes. 7:18 to 2:50 is the time of possession, and it has been dominated by Kilgore. Right now, Jeff, going into this second quarter, the Buckeyes need to find a way to answer and pull back to a 1-score lead. 10-0 is not a huge deficit, but the Buckeyes can't continue to go 3 and out and put themselves in the hole and give Kilgore opportunities when they got them down.
Here's another long one. This is going to go out of the back of the end zone and come out to the 25. And so we talked about this in pregame. If you guys are just meeting, just joining us. And this was going to be a battle tonight. The last 2 years, these two teams, Gilmer won state in 23. These guys played for the state championship and lost last year. In 23, we came here, had them beat to the last few minutes of the game, had a fumble that went the wrong direction, and they scored at the last few seconds. And to win that game, they come to our stadium last year, in 24, and we win on a field goal in the last seconds of the game. So these guys, there's no love lost between these two teams tonight. So far, it's been Kilgore on top of this one with momentum. Hopefully fumble on the play. Horn picks it up, and he's got nowhere to go. And he is going to be drugged down for a loss of probably 15 yards. And we'll watch it on the replay.
Yeah, we didn't see the problem on the snap, Jeff, but that's Hagler that's in at center to try to stop some of those problems that you saw against Pine Tree. And here we go again. So 2nd down and forever as the Buckeyes now just trying to get this field flipped as dang near impossible when you shoot yourself in the foot like that to get something positive going, especially if that's something that you want to get going as a running game and lean on that. It's 20, let's call it 2nd down and 23.
All right, we've got our back, Horn, standing in his own end zone. Here's the snap, flag on the play, and was that delay game?
And we'll scoot back another 5 yards. So we'll be 1st and 35 now, or excuse me, 2nd and 35.
Offense number 2. After this is to the goal.
So this is one, Jeff, where you're going to try to get something positive on 2nd down, get it to 3rd and manageable, and maybe take a shot, but Kilgore not going to give us anything over the top. But 2nd and 32 because it's half the distance to the goal.
All right, dropping back, looking to pass, launches one, and just over the head of Haynes, number 12, and that is going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 32.
Well, and 0 for 4 for Tate passing at this point is that secondary is in man-to-man coverage, and he's gotten 1 pass knocked down in the pocket, but again, it's just a story offensively of the Buckeyes doing exactly what we talked about in the pregame that you don't want to do, which is create hardship for yourself. And it doesn't get much worse than 3rd and 32.
All right, Taylor drops back. Heavy pressure. Gets out of the end zone. out to the 5, so he gets some positive yards, couple of positive yards. Bad news is it's 4th down. We've got a punt. Our punter will be standing shallow at the back of his own end zone.
Yeah, and the little things, right? When you're playing a good team, it's all about the little things. Mercifully, this first quarter will run out, and for the Buckeyes, they have not played bad specifically, but the 4 or 5 plays that have mattered the most just have been disastrous for the Buckeyes, and none more worse than this snap that has put the Buckeyes in this hole now, and we may have to take another timeout. Let's see if we go ahead and snap it with 2 seconds left. We did get it off.
All right, and they block it. That's what I was afraid of. And they are going to fall on it for a touchdown. That is a backbreaker for the Buckeyes because, he's standing shallow. I mean, the ball's being snapped from the 5-yard line and just not a lot of room. And they brought the heat, and they got a block on that one. So that is big time for Kilgore. They go up 16-0 as the first quarter ends.
Yeah, that's just kind of bad to worse in terms of mistakes in an untimely time, as that now becomes a 17-0 lead. So the Buckeyes, after the first quarter, down 17-0. This game has been dominated by Kilgore so far, statistically and everything else. But, Jeff, it's not really that the Buckeyes have played bad. It's just you can't have snaps in a specific area that puts you in a hole where you don't want to be. Pre-snap penalties put you in a hole where you don't want to be. That's the kind of things that the Buckeyes cannot continue to do if they want to crawl back in this game. 17-0 is not a deep hole, Jeff, in terms of 3 more quarters to play. But we'll recognize a few of our sponsors and come right back after this message.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goddard & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18 wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goddard & Young.
Back to the action here as a block punt for a touchdown stretches this lead to 17-0 Kilgore. And the Buckeyes have run 7 plays offensively for 2 yards, no first downs. And a lot of that has been just kind of putting ourselves in a position where we got to throw the football. And watch out right here, Jeff, for an onside kick or something to try to put some nails in the coffin, as Kilgore obviously has the ability to kick it out of the end zone anytime that they want. But the Buckeyes are in really a must-score situation here to start this second quarter. And maybe this will be a tale of 2 quarters here with the Buckeyes having, kind of getting some things going. And what they cannot do is stop playing right now. You got to keep fighting.
All right, we got a high kick fielded on the 2-yard line by Horn once again, and a good coverage there by the kickoff team for Kilgore to get downfield really quick and get Buckeyes pinned kind of deep in their own area. So here comes our quarterback, number 2, Zayd Taylor, brings that offense back on the field to try to get something going, try to get some momentum here in this second quarter. But they are pinned deep again for this next possession. Ball's going to be on the 13-yard line, so 1st and 10 from the 13.
Yeah, and the first thing you want to do, Jeff, is just get positive yards on first down. And not start with another penalty or another turnover or another something to happen. You just got to have a positive first down play.
All right, here's the snap. Number 2, Taylor, quarterback keeper left side. Kilgore sniffs it out, gets around there, makes a stop. No gain.
Yeah, actually a loss of 2 yards. That's what the Buckeyes cannot afford to have happen as they run to that strong side left side. But they are slanting to that side, and, Jeff, that's the short side of the field. So not enough real estate for Zayd Taylor to work with as now we've got a throw-in situation. And once again, you see these under-over coverage out here as they've got 2 over 2. It's a man-to-man type look, but the Buckeyes in a throwing situation.
Quick pass out to the left side, Haynes, and he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, we talked about it earlier in the game. Kilgore always has a great secondary, and this is one of the better ones I've seen from them.
No, they just play straight man-to-man, and they play downhill, Jeff. So when they get you into a throwing situation, they know what's coming, and that's exactly how they attack downhill. We throw that screen pass out to Haynes, and he's wearing a red jersey before really he gets possession. And as you said, gets back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10, and that's where the Buckeyes do not want to be.
Here's the snap. Taylor forced out of the pocket, picks up a block from his back. He's going to be tackled for loss in the backfield, nowhere to go. And the hits just keep coming as this very powerful Kilgore Bulldog defense just keeps bringing the heat. 4th and 15. Buckeyes are going to have to punt again with the ball only 3 yards out from where they had to do it last time.
Yeah, just going backwards and really kind of putting themselves in that situation as Taylor in the throwing situations has not, one pass completed for no yards so far was that out to Taylor. And once again, the Buckeyes punting from their own end zone. And the receiving guy standing back at the Buckeye 40.
We fumbled again. We fumbled it. Our punter has the ball. He is going to be run out of bounds around the 12-yard line. Kilgore is going to take over 1st and 10 from the 12, and this is catastrophic.
Yeah, it's just like going from bad to worse. When the wheels start coming off, this is kind of the situation they found themselves in to start the second half last week, Jeff, and you got to find a way to stop the slide, right? You got to find a way to stop the momentum, which is all Kilgore, and just things as simple as snaps, right? So snap over the head causes a 3rd and 32, and that last kick that was blocked, and then we fumbled that snap, and instead of kicking the ball, the punter, young punter, and done a great job so far, but literally kind of left him hanging out, and he just had to run around the left end and gives Kilgore the ball 1st and 10 inside the red zone from the Buckeye 13.
All right, they're setting up probably for a handoff. Bounces to the right side, gets positive yards inside the 10, down to about the 6 or 7 yard line.
Well, Jeff, you see the tail of two teams, right? So on 1st down, Kilgore runs the ball, no mistakes, and they get 7 yards on 1st down and give themselves a 2nd and 4 manageable. And now they've got multiple things. They've got number 4 out there to try to take a shot on 2nd down, and they're in a really good situation at the Buckeye 7 with 2nd down and 4.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff again, left side. Room to run, cuts up field, gets positive yards all the way to the end zone for another Kilgore score, and Kilgore really coming on strong.
Well, they just capitalized, Jeff. That self-inflicted wounds by the Buckeyes put us in that situation, and Kilgore does what they're supposed to do when they're a good team, and they just basically capitalized. Good run on 1st down, good run on 2nd down, and that's all they need to stretch this lead out to 23-0 with the extra point left to come. 9:06 left to play in this 1st half, and the Buckeyes have yet to get anything going.
All right. Had a kind of a bobbled snap there, but they're able to field it, get it up on the tee for another extra point. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's gonna be alright. How can you tell? I feel it in my heart. It's gonna be okay.
Juicy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
Back to the action here. 9:06 left to play in this half. Buckeyes down 24-0, and just momentum completely against the Buckeyes. Every single thing that they've done has been catastrophic. They've got 9 plays, and they've gained 2 yards, no 1st downs, and 2 disastrous punts, 1 blocked for a touchdown, 1 fumbled in our own end zone and run out to the 12 before he's tackled and turned the ball over on downs, giving Kilgore a short field. And all Kilgore's done is a good team. They've just capitalized, right? And at the end of the day, the Buckeyes have to do something to stop the momentum. 9 minutes left to go in this 1st half, Jeff. That's plenty of time for the Buckeyes to claw back in the game. But the first thing they need to do is get the ball and make a positive play on first down and find a way to get a first down. Just something that simple.
You know, Kilgore legitimately earned 10 of those points. The rest of them were handed to them
on a silver platter.
3 bad snaps that put us in a rough position. So we got to fix the snap game. Here's a long kick out of the back of the end zone. No return. Buckeyes get one more opportunity, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, now the Buckeyes just need to settle in and pretend it's 0-0 and start this game mentally over in their head and really kind of get some positive momentum going on the offensive line, get the running game going, and pick up a couple of first downs here and try to keep this Kilgore defense, which has not been on the field basically, but they hadn't been on the field 10 plays. The defense has not been on the field for 10 plays in a quarter and a half, and that's a problem. And it's not a problem really that the run game can't get going. It's that we can't put ourselves in a position to make it matter.
All right, handoff Horn. He goes over the left side, lowers his head, gets out to about the 30. That's about a 6-yard run.
And that's the kind of positive play we needed to have on first down, Jeff, as that was also a snagged, one-handed snag by Taylor at the quarterback position, and really Horn was late getting that run off. But 2nd down and 4 is a much better position. The Buckeyes an opportunity to get their first down.
Horn up the middle again, finds some room to run, picks up a first down, and that is the first down of the night for the Gilmer Buckeyes, which is something I've not said in 23 years.
Yeah, especially not into the second quarter when we've already had 4 possessions. But, hey, a first down is a great place to start, and it's the place that's going to have to start here with 8 minutes left to play here in this half. And the Buckeyes now got a little bit of momentum offensively behind 2 good runs from Horn.
All right, 3 receivers left. Motion. Number 30, Austin Blakely. Here's the snap. Handoff to Horn again. Goes up the middle. That defense doing a good job. Picks up about 3 yards on it, but I'm just amazed at the penetration that defensive line of Kilgore is able to get.
Yeah, we try to find a way to run to the weak side. Of course, the big number 84 that's out there that's heads up on Kamara. He's the guy that is the big run stopper, 4-star defensive tackle over 300 pounds, and the Bulldogs have chosen just to basically say, look, we're going to put him heads up on a 5-tech. Normally he's played nose guard, and he's not playing nose guard tonight, and that just kind of eliminates the Buckeyes from running to the left-hand side where their real strength is.
All right, here's the snap. Hands off the Horn again, up the middle. Not a lot there, maybe a yard. We're going to call it 3rd and 6.
Hey, I'll take 3rd and 6 at this point, Jeff. 3rd and 6 versus 3rd and 32.
I'll take 3rd and 6 on the 40, not the 5. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe even 4-down territory here already. For the Buckeyes is we need a good play call here and something to move the chains for the second series of snaps in a row. But we need to get to about the 47-yard line, 46-yard line for a first down, or at least make it close so that we've got a chance to go for it.
All right, here comes the snap. Dropping back. Taylor to the sideline. Got a man. And that is a catch for another first down.
Yeah, Trosbach got hit a little bit early, but used his body well to pick up that first down. And he is a very, very reliable receiver with his hands, even to be a young sophomore, and moves the sticks once again into almost on the shadow of Kilgore territory for the first time all night. And first down for the Buckeyes, 2 first downs in a row. And now the Buckeyes got a little momentum offensively, and let's see if they can carry that out and they get some points on this drive.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Horn. And he gets positive yards. Another maybe 3 or 4 on that carry.
And that's the kind of drive that the Buckeyes want to have. 2nd down and 6. And into Kilgore territory. Jeff, this is how the Buckeyes started the game last week against Chapel Hill. And ran 20 straight points. Before Chapel Hill kind of got the momentum going on their side. Obviously, Kilgore's come out here tonight and had everything go right in the first quarter, but the Buckeyes kind of mounting a drive here.
Here's the snap, drops back. Taylor looking long, launches a bomb
to nobody.
Downfield to no one, as we have probably a broken pattern there. They also check Ector into the game to give Horn a little breather.
Well, what that tells you, Jeff, is we're going for it if we can get a 4th and manageable. That's what it tells you, because when you take a shot like that on second down and create 3rd and 6 for yourself, you basically say, okay, look, we're confident in where the running game's going, and we are going to try to pick up 6 yards in 2 downs here. 3rd and 6, obviously you'd like to pick it up on this 3rd down play, but the Buckeyes need the 41 for a first down.
I'm giving it to Ector right here. That's your best shot. Ector's got some great legs, and they are. They're going to give it to Ector, and he bounces out, nowhere to go. They are all over that one. We tried a little, or he shoots out of the scrum there, but Ector's got some great feet, and that's going to be a loss of a couple of yards, bring up 4th and 8 for the Buckeyes. And they tried a little draw, and Kilgore just wasn't fooled by it.
Yeah, and then Coach Metzel going to try to make a statement right here with 4:55 left to play in the first half that we're going to try to be in this game. We're going to call a timeout here. We'll take a timeout as well and come back with this big 4th down and 8 right after this.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon.
Back to the action here in Kilgore, Texas, where the Bulldogs lead Gilmer 24-0 with 4:48 left to play in the first half of play.
Yeah, and here's the first half, Jeff, is Coach Metzel is going to say, look, I'm going to test the character of this offense as after 2 first downs, which is 2 more than they had all night on this drive, 4th and 8, and the Buckeyes going to go for it here. They need to get all the way to the 41, and let's see if the Buckeyes have something cooked up they can execute.
Yeah, here's the snap. Drops back. Taylor looking to pass, going long. They're going to throw it up. Number 12 through the hands of Haynes, and that is going to fall incomplete. And the idea there is if he intercepts it, it's a long punt. And after, it's almost like what was his choice? We've had 2 bad snaps on punts that cost 2 touchdowns. And so why not go for it on 4th down there? Throw it way down the field. If your guy comes down with it, great. If their guy comes down with it, tackle him, and that's great.
Or if it's pass interference, that's even better.
That's even better. So 3 good things could happen there. The worst thing did happen. It was incomplete.
Yeah. And once again, just really, really good cover skills by Kilgore. And now this defense is going to have to come up with a turnover, 4:40 left. The worst thing that could happen right here is Kilgore go down and score quickly and stretch this out to a 5-score lead.
All right, dropping back. Pressure from the backside, launches one down the field, and that is good defense right there. Step for step, right down the side. That was number 4, the big stud from number 4, Graves for Kilgore, and he was covered number 27 on the defense there, Pinckney. He was right there stride for stride with him. That's good defense on Pinckney.
Yeah, Chris does a good job there getting out, running man-to-man. And that's exactly what I would have done, too, is try to put the nail in the coffin, take your shot to your best receiver on the team. And Kilgore is going to continue. That was a good pass. It was just better defense. And we were very solid on that coverage right there.
All right, handoff up the middle, big hole. As he makes it downfield, makes big contact with the secondary, and just runs straight up the field. You'll watch it here in the replay. You'll watch this, and he's just got a hole that he goes through untouched. So now they're going to hurry up offense as the clock continues to tick. 4:19 left to play. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap. Handoff, 0. Up the middle, another big hole. And he gets positive yards. Big run there. Kilgore's doing a hurry-up offense here to try to keep the defense on their heels. It is 1st and goal. Handoff to 0 again, and he is slammed to the ground. Great tackle there by number 10 for Gilmer. That's Corbin Jones.
Well, that's the way that we got to tackle when we are letting him go 30 yards down the field, hit somebody, bounce off. And tackling is a key element when you've got a good running back that's not going to go down that first contact. And arm tackling is sure not going to get it done. 2nd and goal with 3:30 left to play in this first half. And the Buckeyes just need something positive to happen here.
Turnover would be great here as Kilgore poised to score again. Handoff up the middle. They'll score again.
Yeah, nobody home there in that hole as we slanted right. Watch the slant to the right-hand side here, Jeff, as we've got a stunt to the right-hand side, and right where number 44, Davion King, left from is right where they ran. And once again, it's kind of indicative of this first half where every single thing has gone right for Kilgore and almost every single thing has gone wrong for the Buckeyes. And they got a chance to pull this out to a 31-0 lead. That is a 4-touchdown and 1 field goal lead. And it really becomes imperative that the Buckeyes, as the extra point is up and good, take this ball in 3:15 and find a way to go score and get something positive going. We'll be right back after these messages.
La Finca Mexican restaurant is my favorite restaurant in the world. An East Texas favorite for over 37 years. Everyone with any taste agrees La Finca has the best Mexican food in Texas. But I want to share some of my personal favorites with you that maybe you haven't tried yet. Dina and I both love the ribeye steaks at La Finca. Ribeye steak and a baked potato, you can't go wrong. And if you happen to be a hamburger connoisseur, La Finca has one of the biggest and best hamburgers in town. Absolutely fantastic. And finally, never, and I mean never, leave La Finca without having a slice of Olga's homemade carrot cake or tres leche cake. Trust me, it'll change your life forever. La Finca, supporting the Gilmer Buckeyes for over 37 years.
All right, back to Kilgore. We are with the Kilgore Bulldogs with a commanding lead over the Gilmer Buckeyes. It is 31-0, folks. If you're just joining us, that is a real score as we have given them, we gave them a couple of freebies with 3 bad snaps that put us into tough positions and allowed them to score. And Kilgore's offense and defense playing extremely well tonight. Buckeyes haven't found an answer yet. They'll make adjustments at halftime. They're very good at that. And hopefully they'll be able to do so and come back and give Kilgore a little bit of a run for their money in the second half. Big kick. This guy has got a leg. I mean, that didn't even hit the end zone. Out the back of the end zone it goes on the big leg of the kicker for Kilgore. Buckeyes take over 1st and 10 from the 25.
Yeah, now play calling just becomes an issue, Jeff, where we just got to make positive yards and find some bread and butter plays that just get us positive yards. 3:15 left. The last thing we want to do is give Kilgore the ball back. 31-0, as crazy as that sounds at a halftime score, given what has happened, is not something that is into the world or insurmountable. But what you got to do is you got to stop the slide. You got to stop the slide by moving the chains. It's what the Buckeye offense did on the last drive, picked up a couple of first downs. Then we put ourselves in 4th down and 8 and couldn't convert. And once again, we got ourselves into problems.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback keeper, Taylor. And, boy, they have had his number all night tonight.
Well, they got
Taylor, a very capable running back, one of the best running backs you could have. Yeah, and they have just been keying on him tonight.
Yeah, they got a spy linebacker out there specifically on him on the backside. And they just don't fall for any fakes. They just coming straight up the field, and we don't have a guy there can block him. Normally, Zaid is a person that can make that guy miss. But when you look at the linebacker that's out there over the top, he's a good athlete, and he just makes a play. And once again, the Buckeyes are 2nd down and 10 with 2:38 left. We got 11 yards rushing in the first half so far, Jeff. That's crazy to say.
All right. And we got another flag. It's going to be a delay of game against the Buckeyes. Second one of the evening is they're not able to kind of get their it set. And sometimes, no, timeout. They took a timeout. They threw a flag right about the time we had to take a timeout, which is no big deal. It's 2:27. But they'll take a timeout. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
Chad Burkhalter and Gary Vestal are your Gilmer Edward Jones financial advisors. We're all about financial investments, but we also value the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Chad and Gary are proud sponsors of our state champion Gilmer Buckeyes.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Horn lowers his head. Get some good yardage, and they pick the ball up. They're going to say he was down, and that is very familiar because that's almost the exact same spot that we lost that fumble a couple of years ago. And luckily Horn got a knee down there before he was able to strip the ball out of his hand. So that's a good run. That's about 6 yards, 3rd and 4. Now for the Buckeyes, 2 minutes. We're going to be at the 2-minute timeout. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back.
Call 843-2023 or 843-5794 or visit edwardjones.com for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Need an oil change? Try the new Buckeye Express Lube, 1 mile from Gilmer on Highway 300. Oil and filter changes, fluid top-offs, multi-point inspections, and tire rotation and repair are just a few of the services they offer. Best of all, you can watch TV and enjoy a complimentary snack while you wait. Jason Horton, a former Marine, thank you for your service, has over 30 years of experience in the business and guarantees the best service in town. Next time you need an oil change, think Buckeye Express Lube on Highway 300.
All right, we're back in Kilgore. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Gilmer trails 31-0. It is 3rd and 4 on their own 30-yard line. Need a big play here. Try to get some points, and we miss the snap and have to fall down on it. And sometimes you're just snake bit, and tonight is just one of those nights.
Well, when you can't execute snaps, Jeff, it gets in your head, right? Yeah, that's the second loss that is 18 yards or more that the Buckeyes have had. And with 3rd and 3, you give yourself a chance, and then you do that on 3rd down. Just simple execution things that the Buckeyes come away with, that you saw some of the snap problems that they got cleaned up last week, and this week you see it. You can't do that against a good team like Kilgore. So now we're going to have to punt the ball again with 1:51 left, and Kilgore is exactly what you don't want to do, is give a good team good field position when you're only down 31-0. It sounds like only when the Buckeyes can't even get a first down. Yeah, but we've got -1 yards rushing at this point, technically, which is unheard of for a half from the Gilmer offense. 10 yards of total offense, Joe Dodd tells us. But now we've got to execute the punt. And for the last 2 times we've done this, Jeff, we hadn't been able to execute the punt. So this is one that we're going to have to see if the adventure continues, or can we get a good snap off and get a good punt off and hopefully no return.
Standing from the goal line, need a good snap. It is a good snap. They're coming, and he barely got that one off.
What a great punt.
And that is a really good punt that takes a really good Buckeye bounce.
That is
all
a
the way
great
down
punt.
to the 32-yard line
from his goal line.
That is a big foot right there. Boy, we needed it at that moment, so that's a great job there.
Outstanding job by the young punter to step up there after two really disasters the last two times that he's touched it, trying to field snaps and trying to make lemonade out of lemons. And now for the Buckeye Black Flag defense, they got to stop Kilgore here for 141 and not let the bleeding continue here, as offensively the Buckeyes just their own worst enemy with bad snaps and blown opportunities. 3rd down and 3 on that last drive with another 18-yard loss with a bad snap for the second time in this half, and really blew a good opportunity for the Buckeyes to score to end this half here. Now they give the ball back to Kilgore with 1:41 left in the half.
All right, Brooks, 2 backs in the backfield, motion. Brooks drops back, launches one downfield, and it is caught, and he may take this one all the way to the house. He will. A perfect pass, complete to number 3. And, I mean, he laid that one right on the money. And a big touchdown as Kilgore, deadly in the air tonight.
Yeah, he just ran right by our man-to-man coverage, and that's one of the places that the Buckeyes struggled against Chapel Hill. But when you're playing man-to-man and you can't get pressure and you've got a guy that can really throw the ball like he absolutely, because that pass could not have been thrown any better. That was a perfect pass to a perfect route. And Kilgore now takes a 38-0 lead. Minute 30 left here with the Buckeyes going to have to figure out a way to stop the slide, which is exactly what happened last week, Jeff, against Chapel Hill in the second half. And for a young team, it's an important lesson to learn.
It is a young team. We'll be right back after these messages.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
All right, we are back. I'm sorry to step on you, Todd, but, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. And so far in the first half tonight, Gilmer has unfortunately been the bug. And you have those kind of games sometimes. This has been one of them. It's just been a snake-bit game, one thing after the next. You're playing a very physical team.
And a good team that takes advantage of every single opportunity that they've been given.
I'll tell you what, I see these guys going back to state this year. I'm going to call that right now.
They are talented, and we knew that coming in. But if you look at it, 5 plays, and this is a totally different ball game, just like it was last weekend against Chapel Hill, where we had a 20-6 lead, and this kind of thing started. For the first half, it's been bad snaps. And the Buckeyes, once again, 1:30 left with a timeout, and got to figure out a way to get this back on track.
Yeah, it's going to be fielded in the end zone and down, coming out to the 25. I want to remind everybody that's watching tonight, do not be disheartened. We have a very, very young team. I don't think we have one starter on offense that we had last year.
The one starter broke his ankle in warm-ups against Pine Tree, so we have 0 starters
We have
on
0
offense.
starters on offense. This is a very young team. I look at the roster. I've never seen more sophomores on a varsity team than we have this year, which is great because that's going to be great for the next couple of years. But it's a very young team, and it's early in the season. We started out pretty rough last year at the first 2 or 3 games of the season and got it worked out, and they'll do the same thing this year. Big run there, number 6, 9 yards on the carry.
Yeah, great battle going on between number 72, Ismail Kamara, and number 84, the big defensive end. 5 technique as Kamara just caved him down there and picked up 9 straight yards right off of his hip. And that's what the Buckeyes want to see is 9 yards on first down. Brings up 2nd down and 1, and Buckeyes just need to rinse and repeat.
All right, trip receivers to the right, tight set, handoff once again, Horn, left side, picks up the first down, gets to the 40-yard line, 53 seconds on the clock.
We'll take a timeout. And
timeout, Gilmer. We'll take a timeout up in the stands. Here we go.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Back to the action here with a Buckeye timeout. 53.1 seconds left in this first half. Buckeyes trail 38-0. And that sounds terrible, but really some self-inflicted wounds from the Buckeyes and a big, giant goose egg offensively is just a lack of execution and really some putting themselves in terrible position has kind of caused this problem. Kilgore, though, has just followed through. There's once again a bad snap, and the ball's on the ground.
Taylor picks it up, launches one downfield. Great recovery by Taylor. He does a good job of, even when the ball's fumbled, he'll pick it up, and he doesn't panic. But that does fall incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Well, once again, the snap bug bites us as we've got, a senior and all-stater there that slid over to play the center position in Tyler Hagler, but he's got a nose guard over him tonight, which is not a look that the Buckeyes have seen. Just having some issues with that and immediate pressure on him, and the Buckeyes lucky to be 2nd and 10.
Handoff to 6, nowhere to go. Horn maybe picks up a yard.
And with 3rd and 2 and the clock running and we're out of timeouts, basically you take this all the way down and take a shot here and hope that you can get yourself into a positive scenario here, as we're going to make sure that this is the last play of the half that gets run.
17 seconds on the clock. Clock will not stop again before the half. So you got to think they're just going to launch one downfield, hope for the best. Here's the snap, bad snap. Past the quarterback, and he just falls on it, and that is going to end the first half. 38-0. Kilgore leads Gilmer. We'll be right back with halftime.
Don't settle for the other guys when you could have the best. Only at Juicy's.
Welcome back, folks, to the Juicy's halftime show. We will now kick it down to the Sweepstakes award-winning Gilmer Buckeye Band, who for the third year in a row last year were state finalists in the military marching contest.
Introducing the
now the Buckeye Stars and the Buckeye Band will take the field.
By Donna Lane and Taylor Rohde. Officers from left to right are Nevaeh Tate, Senior, Jamin Head, Junior, Jocelyn Sanchez, Senior, Audrey Abram, Senior, and Gina Ruiz, Senior. Star of the week is Bella Inslee. The Stars perform a sparkling palm routine to Timber. Gilmer fans, stand up and cheer for the Buckeyes as the Stars kick to the fight song. Celebrating 99 years of tradition, the Gilmer Buckeye Band is proud to present the 2025 Majorettes in a twirl routine to the Earth, Wind, and Fire mega hit, September. The Gilmer Band Majorettes. And now, Gilmer Independent School District is proud to present one of the most decorated military marching bands in Texas, the pride of Upshur County, the five-time UIL state marching finalist, Gilmer Buckeye Band. Under the field command of senior drum majors Carter Garman and Genesis Sanchez, with feature twirler Amy Sanchez, the band steps off to Sweet Land of Liberty fanfare by Sochinski with Cyrus the Great and Emblem of Freedom by King.
Melvin.
the Gilmer High School Buckeye Band. The Gilmer ISD bands are directed by Eric Gray, Brandon Garman, Chris Witt, Sarah Thompson, and Kaylee Cochran. The majorette sponsor is Hannah Threadgill. Thank you for your kind attention to all of tonight's halftime performances.
Trey Lee, senior, linebacker, DN, fullback.
Atavian Hector, senior, running back, outside linebacker.
Zay Taylor, junior, class 27, quarterback.
Drake Smith, senior, receiver, corner.
Amar Garrett, class 27, safety, receiver. Let's go.
Jeb Bates, senior, DN, fullback.
Tavion Horn, class 28, running back and linebacker.
Carter Johnson, senior, quarterback, safety.
Devin Ford, class of 26, corner receiver.
Corbin Jones, senior, middle linebacker, DN.
McKinley Granville, class 2027, DN, fullback.
Trace Haynes, class 2026, receiver and DB.
Jaden Holiday, senior, receiver, DN.
Zaylon Johnson, sophomore, quarterback, safety.
Cosmo Johnson, junior, receiver, DB.
Aiden Vineyard, sophomore, fullback, outside linebacker.
Solomon Jackson, class of 26, receiver and DB.
Gage Strasbeck, sophomore, wide receiver, safety. Go Bucks.
Mason McDonald, class of 2027, inside linebacker, fullback.
Brendan Darnold, class of 27, outside linebacker and receiver.
Aiden Thomas, junior, running back, safety.
Keithan Johnson, sophomore, receiver and safety.
Zach Robinson, running back, middle linebacker, senior.
Christopher Peeney, class of 27, corner, receiver.
Kelson James, senior, punter, kicker.
Austin Blakely, fullback, linebacker, sophomore.
Samuelson Williams, running back, linebacker.
Miguel Castaneda, senior, receiver and kicker.
Ryan Bobby Bloom, sophomore, tight end, D-line.
John Henry Gilo, senior, inside linebacker.
Rylan Tosh, junior, fullback, inside linebacker.
Rhett Williamson, senior, fullback, DN.
Malachi Johnson, senior, D-line.
Taj Bush, running back, D-line.
Trey Jones, senior, fullback and linebacker.
Davion King, class 2027, fullback, D-line. Let's go.
Hudson Blundell, junior, DN.
Jace Marlowe, junior, fullback and inside backer.
Ethan Brooks, junior, fullback, D-line.
Shad Buchanan, class 2028, O-line, D-line.
Brandon Ludlow, junior, O-line, D-line.
Javar Horn, junior, D-line, O-line.
Kaden Shelton, I'm class of 2026, and I'm offense and D-line.
Tyler Hagler, class of 2026, offensive line, defensive line. Let's go, baby.
Jackson Neely, class of 2026, D-line.
Jackson Curtis, class of 2027, O-line, D-line.
My name is Michael Hudson. I'm on the 10th grade class, sophomore, and I play O-line, D-line.
Jordan Johnson, class of 27, O-line, D-line.
Sean Johnson, class of 27, O-line.
Chance Walker, class of 2026, O-line, D-line.
Tristan Fuentes, class of 27, O-line, D-line. Justice Bird, class of 27, O-line.
Vance Unger, class of 2028, O-line.
Ismail Kamara, class of 2027, athlete.
Carson Kerbo, class of 27, interior O-line, D-tackle.
Arthur Dushy, class of 2026, QB and linebacker.
Jaden Brinkley, class of 2026, wide receiver and cornerback.
Corey Tennyson, class of 2027, wide receiver, cornerback.
Gabriel Moulton, kicker, class of 2026. Devin Wallace, junior, wide receiver, D lineman.
Don't settle for the other guys when you could have the best. Only at Juicy's.
And we're back here to Kilgore, Texas homecoming as the high steppers get done and the Kilgore High School band gets ready to come on. We want to say a special shout out to all of our sponsors, Gilmer National Bank and Paul Wilson, First National Bank and Kyle Bowden, Garrett and Glaze Law Firm, Josh and Jordan, Next Gen with Danny Watkins, AC Contractors, TDR Contractors, Crowley Funeral Home with Troy Murray, and Texas Real Estate Executives Vicki and George Wolf that do such a great job with our Booster Club sponsorships. We want to especially say a shout out to them and thank you for all the beautiful signs in our Gilmer home games that you will see around the sidelines. And we will kick it back to our regular sponsors here as the Kilgore Band concludes the halftime show from Juicy's, and we get the second half underway right after this.
For nearly 150 years, Crowley Funeral Home has offered the highest quality in funeral services to the families of Upshur County for a fair and reasonable price. Led by Gilmer graduate Troy Murray, our staff stands ready at all times to tenderly guide your family in their time of need in all aspects of funeral planning, such as pre-need and at-need, and all types of services from cremation and memorial services to traditional funerals, with attention to every detail. At Crowley Funeral Home, we've been treating families as our own since 1883.
There's a real advantage to being a Gilmer National Bank customer. From the low fees on commercial loans and the hassle-free process and ease of local decisions. If you appreciate personal service and great savings rates, no matter what your age, come see us today in Gilmer or Longview, where the pace is a little slower and the smiles a little brighter. Because we want to hear you say,
Gilmer National Bank, that's my bank.
Gilmer National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Back to the action here as the Kilgore High School band takes the field. Once again, we want to have a special shout out to all of our sponsors, our Booster Club sponsors especially. And we will continue to recognize some of our sponsors as Kilgore finishes up here in their homecoming debut and get on to the second half and conclusion of the Juicy's halftime show right after this.
Since 1900, our customers have relied on and placed their trust in First National Bank of East Texas. Today, we remain committed to earning that trust and serving the needs of families and businesses throughout East Texas. Because time never stands still, you can depend on us to meet the changing needs of future generations for the next 125 years. You can bank on that. First National Bank of East Texas.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goodars & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goodars & Young.
Juicy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon. La Finca Mexican Restaurant is my favorite restaurant in the world. An East Texas favorite for over 37 years, everyone with any taste agrees La Finca has the best Mexican food in Texas. But I want to share some of my personal favorites with you that maybe you haven't tried yet. Dina and I both love the ribeye steaks at La Finca. Ribeye steak and a baked potato, you can't go wrong. And if you happen to be a hamburger connoisseur, La Finca has one of the biggest and best hamburgers in town. Absolutely fantastic. And finally, never, and I mean never, leave La Finca without having a slice of Olga's homemade carrot cake or tres leche cake. Trust me, it'll change your life forever. La Finca, supporting the Gilmer Buckeyes for over 37 years. Chad Burkhalter and Gary Vestal are your Gilmer Edward Jones financial advisors. We're all about financial investments, but we also value the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Chad and Gary are proud sponsors of our state champion Gilmer Buckeyes. Call 843-2023 or 843-5794, or visit edwardjones.com for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Need an oil change? Try the new Buckeye Express Lube, 1 mile from Gilmer on Highway 300. Oil and filter changes, fluid top-offs, multi-point inspections, and tire rotation and repair are just a few of the services they offer. Best of all, you can watch TV and enjoy a complimentary snack while you wait. Jason Horton, a former Marine, thank you for your service, has over 30 years of experience in the business and guarantees the best service in town. Next time you need an oil change, think Buckeye Express Lube on Highway 300.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
All right, folks, we are back here in Kilgore, Texas, where the Gilmer Buckeyes trail the Kilgore Bulldogs an incredible 38-0, as Kilgore has had everything go their way, and the Buckeyes literally have had nothing go their way. Bad snaps tonight has been the story of the game, given several scoring opportunities to the Bulldogs, including a block punt in the end zone for a score. So it's been kind of a rough start, and hopefully the Buckeyes have done what they always do. They make adjustments at halftime. They come out, they grind all the way through this game, so hopefully this will be a Buckeyes half. But we are playing against an incredible Kilgore team that I predict will go all the way back to state as they did this last year, and probably have another state appearance. This is a very, very good football team. Keep in mind, this Kilgore team is Division I, and not only that, they're ranked third in the state Division I. So they are a very, very, very good football team, one of the best ones I've ever seen from Kilgore. And just tonight, we've been snake bit. I'd like to give a shout-out tonight to my lovely wife, who is in the Dominican Republic with some of her friends. She's been down there eating carrot cake and tres leche cake all week, so her trainer is going to probably put a whooping on her on Monday. Todd, what do you think we're going to see here in the second half?
I think you're going to see a big credit card bill.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, what I hope to see is...
But she's going to see Jennifer Teff telling her, that'll be 50 more, please. 50 more.
But, Jeff, what I hope to see from these Buckeyes is just a mentality of let's start back 0-0 and let's just go win the next play. Obviously Kilgore's taken every advantage, but lots of issues that the Buckeyes have to fix. One of those is special teams, and it starts right here with pooch kick that is fielded by Kilgore.
And a nice return out to almost to midfield at the 46-yard line. So Kilgore taking over with super good field position once again, and hopefully the adjustments the defense will make. Tommy Edwards, defensive coordinator, always does a good job of making adjustments and lighting a fire. So let's see if we can make some adjustments and hopefully shut down this powerful Bulldog offense, who has been just nearly perfect tonight.
Yeah, and taking advantage of every opportunity that the Buckeyes have provided. And right now, Jeff, one of those things was that the Buckeyes came out in nickel pack coverage with three-man rush. And I think you're going to start seeing the base four-man rush and even some five-man odd front going into the second half to stop the run, because Kilgore, that's obviously what they're going to do.
All right, 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back. They drop back, quick pass, number 4, Graves, and he just drops the ball. It hits him right in the hands, and he just tried to run before he had it.
Yeah, once again, Graves committed this morning to G.J. Kinney and the Texas State Bobcats, which for G.J., the former Buckeye quarterback, once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye. Shout out to G.J. and the Texas State Bobcats. The first 4-star recruit in the history of the school now is Graves. And he's been held to 1 catch for 26 yards tonight here. The Buckeye defense is doing a good job, but he just dropped that one, Jeff.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff 0 up the middle. And Buckeye defense does a good job of getting him wrapped up quickly after a gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, we slanted straight to it on that play, and an opportunity for the black flag to get off the field. Davion King and Big Tyler Hagler are the they're the heart of that defensive tackle slide. Now you see us bring an extra defensive back onto the field with a 3-man rush. And, Jeff, this is where the gash play happened with the draw play right up the middle the last time that they were in 3rd down and long. And let's see if the Buckeyes can make an adjustment here. Here's his handoff again.
Yeah, handoff once again. And,
there's
boy, he is great at finding the hole. He gets right in behind. He trusts his lineman that the hole's going to be there.
Yeah, and there's one less guy in the box, right, because we bring in an extra defensive back, and that brings up 4th down and 1. And let's see if the Buckeyes can get some penetration here and stop Kilgore from running up the middle here, as this is a will play right here. And then see if the Buckeye black flag can come up with a way to get penetration and stop this drive. Nothing to lose for Kilgore. Inside Buckeye territory, 4th down, they're going to go for it.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff once again up the middle. And what should have been a tackle for loss is going to turn into another Kilgore touchdown, as he just stays on his feet and bounces through the hole, and another score for Kilgore.
Yeah, 2 missed tackles there, one of them by your all-state tackle, Tyler Hagler, that had him in this grasp, but he has got a low center of gravity, Jeff, and as you said, talented back's just not going to go down, and he takes that all the way to the house once he has kind of gotten past that first line. And for the Buckeyes, 147 yards and 14 carries through the first drive, 3 touchdowns with 10:18 left, and that is exactly how the Buckeyes do not want to start. And once again, Jeff, another key play on 4th down, an opportunity to get a stop, and the Buckeyes give up a touchdown and an extra point. And from here on in, Jeff, it's just about character test. Right, this is about the Buckeyes' mentality of being able to say, look, let's put this horrible, almost insurmountable lead behind us, and let's go do something positive here and work to get better and work on some positive snaps. With the 45-0 with 10:18 left, it just kind of shows you that the Buckeyes, when it counts the most, that's where we got to work the most, right? 4th down and 1. We have 3 good plays to stop the Kilgore offense after giving them good field position to start the second half. And 4th and 1, and they bust one for 41 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, it is. It's just been one of those games where you're just snake bit. We've seen a few of these, not many of them, obviously. Spoiled as a Buckeye fan, but it happens sometimes. It happens tonight as Kilgore goes up on top 45-0 with 10:18 in the third. Kind of a disbelief moment for a lot of Buckeye fans out there, but I'm telling you, again, you're playing a Division I, ranked 3rd in the state, maybe should be ranked 2nd or maybe even 1st in the state. Probably going to go back to state this year. If I picked them to go last year, you'll recall. They went there and got beat by Anna. This year, I'm going to call it again. I think they've got too many weapons on the field, too many great athletes. They're well coached, well disciplined. On the Gilmer side, it's kind of a rebuild year. We've got a lot of sophomores, no starters returning on the offense. And when you have that type of scenario, it is very, very difficult to go against a number 3 ranked team in a Division I.
Well,
so
it's difficult, Jeff, when you don't play perfect and when the team that you're playing against takes advantage of every opportunity that they have, which they've done tonight.
Yeah, well, they're going to kick this one out of the back of the end zone again, so that'll be 1st and 25 or 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Buckeyes. And you can see that there's just kind of a sense of defeat down there, and that is the toughest part for a coach, is to say, hey, I don't care what the score is, and I don't care how much time's left in this game. We're going to go out here and we're going to play every snap. That's what pride, that whole thing years ago. I want to say hello to Coach Jeff Traylor, who's listening to us tonight from his house. And that pride thing that started, this is where, Todd, to your point, where that kicks in. This is where you start developing leaders. What are you going to do when things are tough? When you get down in a game, are you going to give up or are you going to keep fighting? We have a great coaching staff here, and this is a great opportunity for them to teach these guys those lessons. We always talk about life being the greatest metaphor or football being the greatest metaphor for life. And this is what you learn. You learn that sometimes you're going to win, and sometimes you're going to lose. We said it earlier, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Tonight, the Buckeyes are the bug.
Yeah, and one of those opportunities that you're also you have the truck that the windshield is on is rolling 160 miles an hour down the interstate.
Yeah.
And with all the momentum, as we've got evidently a timeout on the field. I don't know what the timeout is.
Yeah, the referees are talking something over. I'm not sure what they're discussing. But
and we'll get to play.
Yeah, here we go. So Cade Taylor in the backfield by himself. 2 receivers left, 2 right, motion. Horn, handoff around the corner. He's got a little bit of room, but boy, they closed that gap quick. Horn's able to pick up about 3 yards on the carry. 2nd and 7 for the Buckeyes.
And that's around this left side. Once again, the strength of the Kilgore defense, unlike what they showed on film, big number 84, the 4-star defensive end, the 300-plus pounds that they've got, they've chosen to put him on one-on-one on Kamara all night long. And Ismail doing a good job on him, but it's the other 10 guys that's the problem.
All right, here's the snap. Drop back. Time to throw. Got one across. There was an out route and just cannot get there in time. That pass was intended, I believe, there for number 4. That was Garrett. It's going to fall incomplete. And, Kilgore infamous for always having a good secondary, a lot of athletes. And the last several years, that has been the nemesis of the Buckeyes, even though they won in 23, we won in 24. Their secondary just are always full of athletes with very few weak points. And this is another really good secondary core for Kilgore that we're looking here at today. So Cade Taylor dropping back, poised in the pocket, and I don't know if they just missed, if we ran a wrong route there, but that's going to bring up 4th and 7. And once again, the Buckeyes will have to punt. Now, this has been a struggle for us tonight as we have flubbed a few points that have that have given up at least 14 of the 45 points for Kilgore tonight have been on, bad snaps on the punt. So hopefully we got that ironed out over halftime.
Yeah, that's another 3 and out from the Buckeye offense. 2 shots in the air, and we're only 2 for 12 tonight for less than 10 yards. And so just trying to find a foothold of something that's going to work offensively.
Yeah, number 29, James, nice, perfect snap. And, boy, they are really coming. I'm telling you, they nearly got a hand on that one too, but James is able to get it off, and it takes a big Buckeye roll. That's about the 3rd time he has really flipped the field for us.
Yeah, let me
that
tell you
ball's going to settle around the 23-yard line.
That young man has done a phenomenal job. Of course, giving up the block punt is not his fault in the end zone, and he's done what he coached to do on the other bad snap, which is to pick up the ball and get as much as he can. But he has, as you said, flipped the field on 3 occasions now, and really that's been the bright spot, I would say, of the night, is his ability to not only punt the ball but to win those positive yards. Special teams going to be a point of emphasis for Coach Traylor as this young team figures out, just how to execute on the special team side. But coming behind Braden Pate, who is probably a once-in-a-generation top kicker, led the nation in scoring, and from a punting standpoint, literally the best the Buckeyes have ever seen. He's got big shoes to fill, but, boy, has he done an outstanding job so far. And tonight he's really been the bright spot.
Yeah, he's done a nice job there, James, number 29. All right, motion. Going to do a quick pass to the back, out of the backfield. Look at him take a cut and then straight up field where there's a big hole and just keep fighting for yardage. I want to give a shout-out again, Todd. I mentioned earlier as the game started today, I had an opportunity to go to CUTX and for about 4 hours do a seminar today for some very special students. That CUTX, they've actually put a bank inside, this is the second year, inside Gilmer High School, and the kids actually run the bank, and it is a fully operational bank. They're the tellers, the whole shooting match. Exceptional young group today that I had a chance to speak with. Want to give a shout out to Smart Bank. Handoff once again, bounces out to the right side, got a hole where there shouldn't have been one, and he is scampering down the sideline and may take it all the way back. We got a flag on the field, so more than likely going to be called back with illegal block against Kilgore, I would imagine. The flag is on the 45-yard line, so hopefully that will bring that one back.
Yeah, that's going to come back, but from a tackling standpoint, boy, the Buckeyes really have a lot of effort out there that's left because arm tackle's just not going to get it done against athletes that are running to score every time that they touch the ball. And we may have had an illegal block there or a hold.
Yeah, it's holding. So that's going to be a penalty of the 10-yard variety. And that was just a lucky break for the Buckeyes, maybe the first one of the night. And that ball is going to be now spotted at the 45-yard line. So
that's still going to give them a first down.
Yeah,
Jeff.
It's still first down. Great field position. I tell you, it's been interesting to watch the battle that's going on at the line of scrimmage tonight between two of the biggest teams down in the trenches that you can imagine. But when it comes to the skill kids, Kilgore is just loaded this year with skill kids as they get about 4 yards, maybe 5 on that carry. I also want to give a shout out to Gilmer High School. We've got an injured player down. I want to give a shout out to Gilmer Independent School Districts, who got almost every campus. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Almost every campus got a perfect score, an A this year, and the one campus that didn't get an A has had an A for the last 2 years. Just never can get it lined up right. But all the campuses did. In fact, they did so well and have showed so much steady improvement over the last several years that the commissioner, the education commissioner, actually went out and visited 6 schools in the state of Texas. Gilmer was one of them. And Gilmer ISD rolled out the red for him and really put on kind of a best of show for the commissioner. And that was a big deal for him to come up here and to personally congratulate our teachers, our administrators, and I want to congratulate all the teachers and all the administrators, the school board, for what they do and getting such great not only improvement, but just great scores this year. That is a real accomplishment. We always do so well academically. We always do so well on and off the field. I mean, you think about all the extracurricular things that we do. Todd, you mentioned that 3 years in a row, the band going to the state finals. And this year, the biggest band that I've ever seen on the field, 130, 125 kids, something like that.
131, and that's the largest band the Buckeyes have ever put on the field. And that's by design to try to make a run at a state title. You got to have those bodies out there. And that's dang near every kid in the school that's not involved in something else is in the band. So great job with
I think I saw Rick Albritton out there dressed out with a trombone. Handoff, 5. Look at him bounce out to the left side. I mean, that is a great running back move and just a power runner down the left sideline. Big pickup of about 40 yards on the carry. And
just on the cut back there, Jeff, he had nothing to the right and just cut it back to the left, and there was nobody home. And that is just inserting his will. This is the first time that he's really run with the ball, and he's taking the full advantage of his carry, getting it all the way down to the Buckeye 25-yard line. And with 7:38 to play here in this third quarter, the Buckeye defense once again in their base package now, just trying to hold up against this Kilgore running game.
All right, Kilgore, 1st and 10. Handoff to 5 once again. Lowers his head, gets a good 5 yards on the carry. And that offensive line down there just getting the football, opening up holes all night tonight. I think they averaged, Joe, said
10 yards of play.
They have to have 10 yards of play in the first half, which is just unheard of. But that is, you got to take your hats off to the guys in red. They are an athletic football team, powerful up front, fast, skilled, well-coached. It's a good football team we're watching right here.
They're not third in the state for nothing, Jeff. We knew they were good, and not only their running game, but right here they've got the ability to throw the ball. And
Brooks and pass falls incomplete. That was intended for number 10 for the Bulldogs. That was Tyler.
And they're in field goal range, Jeff. Don't think that they won't bring a field goal kicker on to kick a 40-plus yard field goal here, as we've seen the leg that he's got in kickoffs and in the field goal. And that is when you look back at the Anna game last year, Jeff. One of the additions that they have is the ability to really score from inside the 30. They can put points on the board. And like you said, I see a Kilgore team that's going to be playing a long time after Thanksgiving this year.
For sure. Dropping back Brooks, and pass complete to number 10, but that's going to be a flag for pushing off. I mean, he had his hands all over him, so that's going to come back. That's a good call there by the referees. Mark Skinner corrected me a while ago and was saying I was calling Cade Taylor instead of Zayd Taylor.
Yep.
And my son-in-law's name is Cade Taylor. So it's an honest, it's easy. Yeah, it's an easy one to do.
We've had plenty of Cades in our lives, too. And,
yeah, we've got a lot of Cades. 15-yard penalty, replay 3rd down, and Kilgore is super happy about it.
Well,
you can hear him booing.
Yeah, an opportunity for the Buckeyes to have a rare stop in the Kilgore offense here. And now's the time where you just got to go tackle and play for pride and get yourself into a situation where you go and force them to punt the ball, because they're out of field goal range right here. But 3rd down and 20, let's call it 3rd and 20, they're just going to run the ball right here.
All right. Yeah, they're going to keep that clock going. 6:47 left to play. Drops back, looking to pass again. And this guy, man, he has just got an arm. And now we've got a flag. And that's going to probably be, we're going to give that 15 yards back, more than likely. I can't imagine that's against the Buckeyes. So we're going to give that 15 back. But pass interference is the call. I tell you, this Brooks, number 2, the quarterback for Kilgore, you talk about poise in the pocket and got an arm. I imagine there's going to be a lot of folks looking at him, just a quality quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to get an opportunity to watch him play. Hopefully, for Kilgore's sake, he stays healthy. because he's really come a long way in his 2 years as a starter here at Kilgore.
Here's the snap. Number 5 instantly drugged down.
Ismail Kamara
thrown to the ground. Yeah, that was Isaiah or Ishmael got his hand on him and just slung him to the ground. That's what it looks like. That's a pretty big running back, number 5. But when you have 355 pounds on your back, it's kind of hard to run. And Ishmael got his hands around him.
That'll be one of the few highlights for tonight, that he shows why he's one of the top-rated players in the United States. Physically, he's just an animal. I mean, 6'6", as you said, well over 300 pounds, and explosive like that. He can kind of do that anytime he wants.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. Here's from the shotgun, the snap, flag on the play, and that's going to be delay of game. You don't see a lot of those. This is the 3rd delay of game in this game tonight so far. You don't see that penalty often. But clock is at 5:53 in the 3rd quarter. Kilgore leading 45-0. We talked about how good this team is and how highly they're ranked. I think that I'd like to see the 2 teams ranked above them in Division I.
Well, there's some big schools in that Dallas area, Anna being one of them, that just operate like a small college, quite frankly.
All right, handoff up the middle. Number 8, look at him just roll it. He's not a big guy, but he runs like a big guy. I mean, he just keeps those legs driving, and those offensive linemen come around him and watch him hit this hole, and then just spins, and we're trying to get him down, and he's driving those legs. That's the mark of a good back. They're looking at 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8, and they have been good for that all night tonight.
Yeah, this is where the Buckeye defense just got to bow up and at least force a field goal attempt. And you got to think that that's probably what Kilgore will do, is just get some practice in to see if the Buckeyes can come up with a negative play here and push them back out of field goal range.
All right, low snap, and they blow that one dead. Is that another delay of game?
I think they jumped because the side judge threw the line. Yeah, that's false start.
Yeah, false start. So that's going to back them up 5. So that'll be 3rd and 13. And so they'll be putting this ball in the air. Buckeyes yet to be on the scoreboard tonight. I don't know how far we have to go back in the archives for no score. That would be that's in the early 2000s. All right, here's the snap, dropping back, and just a great setup right there. Number 5 just runs like a quarter horse. I mean, just a big, strong runner. That screen pass was set up so well. Look at this. Gets behind the wall and this takes it to the house. That is a well-executed play by Kilgore.
Yeah, great call when just catches us at exactly the wrong time. And once again, Jeff, just the example of when it rains, it pours. And for the Buckeyes, after a great defensive series, actually, you just get the exact right play call at 3rd and 13. And I got to tell you, through the years, the Buckeyes have had their share of these games when they're on that side where they're, hey, everything's going right for us because we just got those horses that can do like that guy just did.
Yeah, there's no question. We have had this. And like I said, sometimes it's your turn, sometimes it's not. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Back to the action here in Kilgore, Texas. 4:30 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Gilmer leads an incredible 52-0 over the Gilmer Buckeyes, as the Buckeyes have just had a pretty rough night tonight in front of a very, very good, maybe one of the best Kilgore teams I've seen in recent years, if not ever.
Yeah, what they've done, Jeff, is execute. That's the most impressive thing. And it's all the way to the fine details. Like, watch, this is a backup kicker that they've got, and how they have managed to it's the same kicker, but how they've managed to take care of details. You can see him coming off of a state championship appearance, and you can see how that just has rolled over into this young season. They played Carthage off their feet to start the season, and you can tell why, is that it's the little things, right? So you're not going to give up yards when you kick it out of the end zone anytime that you want. And, it's been a while since we've had the Luke Turners and Braden Pates on the Buckeye side that can actually go in and command, that kind of execution in the kicking game. But what a weapon. There's three phases to the game, right? Offense and defense and special teams.
Well, over the last few years, our best weapon, was our kicking game. It was, Braden Pate with both punting, kicking, and his field goals. And he was a leading scorer, I think, in the nation.
In the nation, yep.
So, they've got a kicker nearly of that caliber here in Kilgore as well. All right, here's Zaid. Handoff. Nothing there. I mean, look at the job they do. Look at the gap integrity there on the defensive line. Let's watch that replay right there. And let's see if we can catch that in time. I want you to watch these guys just set up in the gap. They just fill every hole and do a great job, and Buckeyes just not able to open up a running lane. There's absolutely nowhere to go. You got Ector, the ball carrier, and he's got some quick feet. And if he gets a chance to get outside, he can make some things happen, hopefully. Two receivers left, one right. Here's the snap. Hector bounces out to the left side, turns the corner, and gets a big first down for the Buckeyes.
And there's a flag.
Yeah, there's a flag. That's going to be unnecessary roughness against Kilgore. And so that will be a first down, and they're going to tack on probably a 15-yard penalty to that, I would imagine.
Forced out of bounds at the Buckeye 41-yard line.
Did he pick up the flag? I thought
evidently.
Throw a flag down.
Yeah, evidently not. Horn, sophomore running back, checks back into the game for the Buckeyes. We're going to give Atavian a minute to catch his breath. Here's a snap. Handoff to Horn. And he is hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but, man, that defensive line down there doing a heck of a job. It looks like what we've seen out of Carthage on the defensive line for the last, several years. They're doing a really good job down there.
Yeah, when you've got guys that have size and they can eat space, and then you got this second line of just raw athletes that can come downhill and make plays, then you have to block everybody. You have to put a hat on a hat with everybody, and that's what these young Buckeyes got to learn to do. But execution is the name of the game because the little things matter.
Handoff, right side. Look at him close. Look at him, number 3 come up and close. I want you to watch this replay. Watch number 3 come up from the secondary and how fast he closes ground as Horn tries to get around the right side. Once he sees that handoff, I want you to watch him. He comes out of your screen. That is a good defensive back right there. He came and closed the gap quickly.
3rd down and 9 for the Buckeyes, and you got to think the way that things are going here with 52-0 the score with 2:17 left in the third quarter. They probably put it in the air here.
All right, dropping back, setting up a screen. Horn, he's got it, got some big yards. He's going to be right just past the first down marker. That'll be a big first down. Nicely executed there by the Buckeyes.
And that's exactly what you want to see, just some execution, right? You just want to see something that works for the Buckeyes, that goes in their favor, and for the Buckeyes to drive into the Kilgore side of the field and convert on a 3rd down and pretty long, 8 yards. That's something the Buckeyes hadn't been able to do all night, and welcome sight.
All right, Taylor in the shotgun. Handoff to Horn, left side. Falls forward for a gain of 4.
That's what you want to see on first down, Jeff. Is a little more like it as the Buckeyes start to really kind of put a drive together here.
I tell you, Todd, we were talking about this pregame because the Bulldogs were warming up behind our stadium, behind the stands that we're sitting in back here on the practice field. And I was looking back there, and I was thinking it might be the Kilgore Rangers back there. When I looked back there, I was like, man, that is some good-looking athletes back there. They've got size and athleticism. And you can see it play out here on the field as they hand off to Horn once again on the left side. And he's going to fight for another couple of yards. Going to bring up about 3rd, and we'll call it a long 3.
Probably 4-down territory here for Coach Metzel. And 50 seconds left to play here in this third quarter as the Buckeyes trying to get something positive going here and keep this drive alive. 3rd and 4, the Buckeyes need the 39-yard line for a first down. They're going to go empty set here and probably give Zayd a run-pass option and a chance to use his legs if he can.
Yeah, we haven't seen Taylor get to run a lot tonight. The few times that he has run, they have shut him down, and they're going to intercept that one. So you can call it kind of a punt, or if you want to, on 3rd down. But that is going to be an interception down there on the 23-yard line, and that'll be a turnover. First one of the night on either side of the ball. Kilgore comes down with it.
3rd interception of the year as Zayd just tries to give his guy a chance on 3rd down. And like you said, Jeff, you're playing a secondary that has got, 15 game weeks of experience against some of the best passing teams in the state of Texas. Now, Zayd Taylor's playing his first real snaps at quarterback. We are not one of the best passing teams in the state of Texas at this point. So they are very, very well versed coming off the playoffs last year in that big division of defending the pass, and it's one of their strengths. And going to the air is something that's challenging for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I told you pregame that the last few years this has been a fight down to the last seconds of the game for the Kilgore beat us in 23 at the last seconds of the game. Last year we won last seconds of the game. There's the end of the 3rd quarter, and I told you that these two teams, no love lost between them, and that my brother-in-law is from Kilgore, and so every year it's a big rivalry, and it really causes family strife. We just have a lot of strife in our family for a few months during football season, but we get it worked out usually at Thanksgiving, and by Christmas we've forgiven each other. So he's texting me now because he's listening to the broadcast, and it's going to be a really cold Thanksgiving this year.
Well,
it's going to be a really cold Thanksgiving.
I can tell you one thing. When Thanksgiving rolls around, these Kilgore Bulldogs will still be playing football. And
that's for sure.
I hope that these young Buckeyes will use this as a learning opportunity. And that's as we talked about in the pregame show. This is part of the method to the madness, and what Coach Metzel does is he puts his young team and throws them into the fire to basically expose all weaknesses and find ways to work. And tonight, one of the things that has played a key role is our ability to basically just execute a simple snap on offense and get ourselves into a position where we can run plays. And we're doing it against the defense that is very, very, very talented. And that's what Kilgore did early in this game, was just take advantage of some really bad snaps as Kilgore brings in some backup players, and the quarterback goes out with a stellar night and on his way to leading his team to probably some really good as linebacker.
And just
more time.
One straight up the middle, and then he's got a blocker downfield that does a great job of escorting him to the house. So Kilgore just adds insult to injury as they rack up 58 points, incredibly, to start the 4th quarter.
His first carry is the backup to the end. And once again, tackling another issue that the Buckeyes will have to deal with defensively, as we just have these lapses, and that was one of them where late in the game with a big lead. Just failure to concentrate and execute tackling the football. Good effort there on the special teams by, it's like number 17, Solomon Jackson. Almost blocked that extra point. But nevertheless, 58-0, lopsided score here, Kilgore over Gilmer. One whole quarter left to play. We'll be right back after these messages.
Nearly 150 years, Crowley Funeral Home has offered the highest quality in funeral services to the families of Upshur County for a fair and reasonable price. Led by Gilmer graduate Troy Murray, our staff stands ready at all times to tenderly guide your family in their time of need in all aspects of funeral planning, such as pre-need and at-need, and all types of services from cremation and memorial services to traditional funerals, with attention to every detail. At Crowley Funeral Home, we've been treating families as our own since 1883.
And back here to start this fourth quarter as Kilgore breaks another long run with the backups in, Jeff. That is a 76-yard, I think, touchdown run. And, you know, that's one that'll be, you know, played in the film room for sure, just in terms of lack of tackling and concentration there. It's a long night, and, it's been a beatdown per se, but mentally there's still a whole nother quarter of football left to play, and obviously a whole lot of things that the Buckeyes need to work on. And when backups come in, you kind of relax a little bit, thinking, hey, these guys aren't going to be as good as everybody else. But, you know, we found that out last night watching the JV. There were some grown men on the JV last night as they beat the Buckeyes by 3 scores on the JV as well. I remember kind of thinking driving away, oh, my gosh, you know, Kilgore's got to be loaded at the varsity level, which obviously they are. As this kicker once again drops back, and he is a deadly effective weapon for the Kilgore Bulldogs. And I think you're probably looking, Jeff, at your first-team All-State kicker right there.
Yeah, he's going to put this one to the back of the end zone, and so the Buckeyes once again 1st and 10 from their own 25. You know, you just can't help but, you know, we've played in these types of games before when we were young, many, many, many years ago, and you get down that, you know, this kind of score late in the game, and it just starts working on you mentally. It really does. And you're like, man, this is like, you know, insurmountable tasks, and you just start kind of, you said it, it's a good character test. It really is. And this kind of thing can be really beneficial for a team, because the sting of something like this, when you know you've got more talent than that, when this happens, sometimes that's what a team needs for motivation, and I think that's what you'll probably see from this team this year, especially this coaching staff, the leadership they provide. Handoff up the middle, and now we break one down the middle, and look at this. Gilmer's going to take it all the way to the house. Horn is going to take a big one to the house to score, and that is really good news, because I'm going to tell you, Todd, Gilmer has 91 consecutive games scoring streak. And
make it 92.
92. The last shutout was a 14-0 Pleasant Grove loss to Pleasant Grove in 2018. And in fact, we've only had 2 shutouts since the year 2000. One of them was in 2001 in a playoff game, and then again in 2018. So I'm really happy to see them break one down the field and get on the board.
Well, young sophomore, obviously still with a lot of gas in the tank and fight left in him. Gets a good block there on the left side from Kamara, turns his man out, and then to get a good scrape block down on the linebacker, and he breaks one tackle, and he is off to the races as the Buckeyes execute an extra point, and it's no good. we don't execute an extra point. So 59-6, the Buckeyes down with 11:31 left to play in this game. We'll be right back after these messages.
There's a real advantage to being a Gilmer National Bank customer. From the low fees on commercial loans and the hassle-free process and ease of local decisions. If you appreciate personal service and great savings rates, no matter what your age, come see us today in Gilmer or Longview, where the pace is a little slower and the smiles a little brighter. Because we want to hear you say,
Gilmer National Bank. That's my bank.
Gilmer National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Back to the action here with most of the fourth quarter left to play as Horn Breaks a long run there for most of the offensive stats for the night come on that one play, Jeff, as the Buckeyes stretch the 92-game scoring streak. Not a lot of teams honestly can say that, but not exactly how Coach Metzel pictured it coming into the night. As early on, they just go back and recap, the Buckeye offense just learning that they cannot put themselves in positions like they did early on, especially not against a really, really good team that, constantly jumps on every mistake that you make and turns it into a scoring opportunity. And what started out as we put ourselves in position with pre-snap penalties where we got to throw the football. And obviously against this defense, throwing the football is not the position you want to be in. And you look up and you get into an early hole, and now you find yourself trying to claw your way back and trying to stop the slide. And the Buckeyes not really finding a way to do that.
High pitch kick fielded on the 30-yard line, and look at this. Somehow evades them, big block in the center of the field, and he is going to take this one all the way back to the house. And that is just the story of the night. That has been the theme of the night. Whatever could go wrong has gone wrong. Murphy's Law for sure in effect here tonight.
Yeah, we're in a position there to make that tackle. But from a kicking game standpoint, Jeff, the pooch kick is about what we got from a kicking standpoint. We've got to kind of get that pooch kick in a place where we can cover it. And it's not that we don't cover it, it's just that we don't tackle when we got there. And I mean, that replay, we'll see that on film, is that when a guy's standing dead in front of you, we got to go ahead and put the hit on him and make that tackle. And that's adds to the list of film study that we're going to have to say, look, don't go do that. As a special teams touchdown stretches this score to 66-6. And with 11:15 left, the Buckeye touchdown answered with a kickoff return for a touchdown. And we will take a quick break and be right back after this.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
So after a touchdown return following a Buckeye touchdown, two big plays in a row have kind of turned it into a track meet. Three big plays in a row. 65-6 is the score as Kilgore's kicker comes back on. And Jeff, I don't think that history shows that he is going to be in a position to return the favor, so to speak, as he can just boot it out of the end zone. As he does once again. What a leg. Unbelievable. It's hard to believe that kid's in high school.
Yeah, he is truly an asset for him. I've never understood how somebody can get that kind of power out of their legs. I mean, he's not a big kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a skinny little kid. He's tall. He's got a lot of leverage, but how do you generate that much power?
Yeah, speed, leg speed. As the Buckeyes come in with some younger players again. And playing some backups here. And resting some guys and kind of waving the white flag with the starters. Carter in at quarterback.
All right, handoff up the middle. Found a hole, number 6 Horn. Nice run there, about probably 9, maybe 8 yards on the carry.
Nice play on first down, brings up 2nd and 2. Not something the Buckeyes have seen a lot, but basically all backups in for Kilgore as well. So these are valuable snaps for both teams early in this season as the backups get some experience, valuable game experience when it is a lopsided score, 66-6, Kilgore leads.
Carter Johnston in at quarterback, up the middle, quarterback keeper, and he gets out to the 40-yard line, picks up the first down for the Buckeyes. Clock is at 10:21, continues to run.
Quarterback keeper number 7, Carter Johnson. Gang tackle by the Bulldogs.
So
Both, sorry, Todd, go ahead.
First down, Buckeyes, something that you like to see. Young guys out on the field executing and having some success.
All right, here's the snap. Fumbles the snap. Quarterback decides to keep it, and he's just going to slide down. That was a broken play. He's just, it was a good snap, just fumbled it a little bit. Had great band performances tonight. If you happen to miss the band performances on really both sides of the ball tonight, if you go back and watch the broadcast, want to go watch the bands, both I thought were exceptional tonight. Carter Johnson, here's the snap, handoff. Number 25, right side, breaks one would-be tackle, but is going to get swarmed for a loss. That was a handoff to Johnson.
That's when you got to cut up field. Brings up about a 7-yard loss and third down and about 17 now. And the Buckeyes not one to put this in the air, and I don't expect them to, as the clock is running now. Totally lopsided score and totally lopsided night for Kilgore, as early on in this game, the Buckeyes offered up mistakes and opportunities to Kilgore early and often, and they took advantage of pretty much every single one. I really can't think of an opportunity, Jeff, to put points on the board that Kilgore did not take.
All right, Carter drops back. Nice pass for a first down. And that he really laid that one on the money. The ball was complete to number 4, Garrett. Buckeyes move the chains across midfield to the 49 of Kilgore.
That one right at the sticks, nice route. And a first down for the Buckeyes. See if Johnson can take the second team group down and score with them. He's got to keep the positive momentum.
Handoff. Hector. And he bounces out to the left side, picks up about 4 good yards on the carry. Octavian is a fun guy to watch run the ball.
Yeah, he's a tough dude.
He is tough. He is about 5'6", but he plays like he's 6'4".
Yeah, really has made a couple of plays already early in the season. Strip return for a touchdown against Pine Tree for the Buckeyes to start this season 1-0. And another game where the Buckeyes had some snap issues. But so far tonight on this drive is, I think that's Mr. Bird in at center right now, is decent snaps.
Handoff again to Tavian. And number 30 for Kilgore just does a good job of containment right there, as we can't get an inside shoulder on him to push him in. That was number 20, actually.
Once again, loss of 1 on the play. First there for the Bulldogs.
So we lose about a yard on that one. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8. Probably going to put this one in the air. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, I think Carter Johnson can throw the football under the tutelage for several years of Stump Godfrey, the Buckeye legend, Mr. Texas in 2009, now offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in one of the big schools in Dallas. And he can show that he can deliver the football when it gets time.
And that is a quarterback draw, and number 0 does a good job of grabbing a hold of his jersey and jerking him down. So that is going to be a loss of about 6 or 8 yards. and that'll bring up 4th and long for the Buckeyes, and they'll have to punt with 6 minutes left to play in this game. Again, Kilgore leading an incredible 66-6.
Well, the scoreboard, Jeff, let's talk about it. Indicative, really, of how well Kilgore took advantage of all the opportunities that the Buckeyes gave them. But just critical places where the Buckeyes needed to make plays. And once again, here's a really excellent punt with no return. Our punter, once again, kicks it out of bounds at the 18-yard line. That's about as well as you can do it.
Yeah, it's Kelson James, the punter. He's done a good job for us tonight.
Really done a bright spot as Kelson, fine young man, wonderful family, and worked really hard and has really kind of become a contributing factor here to keeping the Buckeye special teams kind of glued together. Obviously on kickoffs, we're a little bit limited in having to pooch kick and not having that leg of Braden Pate to kind of kick it through the end zone. Certainly not a leg like you see from the kicker from Kilgore. I mean, that is not just a Division I leg. That may be an NFL leg one day, as that guy can kick the football.
All right, back up, quarterback in for Kilgore, handoff up the middle, and defense does a great job of swarming him immediately. So he may have gotten a yard on that one.
Big day of college football tomorrow, Jeff, as several ranked teams will square off. And we got a hurt, injured Buckeye down, and I'm not sure who that is.
I think that may be Davion King. Or Hagler.
Hagler.
That's Tyler Hagler down there. Why they're taking a timeout. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
Since 1900, our customers have relied on and placed their trust in First National Bank of East Texas. Today, we remain committed to earning that trust and serving the needs of families and businesses throughout East Texas. Because time never stands still, you can depend on us to meet the changing needs of future generations for the next 125 years. You can bank on that. First National Bank of East Texas.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
Back to the action here. Got a second down and long. Tyler Hagler made that play, but kind of coming off a little gingerly. Hope he's okay and certainly done for the night. As another running play goes nowhere for Kilgore. Bring up third down. Clock continues to run. And as we were saying, Jeff, big college games tomorrow. Texas A&M goes up to Notre Dame to South Bend to go take on the Fighting Irish in what will be a critical game for both sides. 0-2 is how Notre Dame would start out if they take a beating, and the Aggies return the favor from taking a loss last year in College Station. And Tennessee and Georgia, several really good games tomorrow as we're full-blown football season here in Texas.
Handoff around the right side, and nice wrap-up tackle there by, I think, Davion King.
Jackson Dickey once again on the carry.
Yeah, glad to have another year on his contract as well, coming back from that knee surgery. He's moving well, and quite frankly, you know, he's played more snaps so far this year than I expected him to play, and really done a good job on his rehab. And there'll be a timeout on the field. We'll take a final timeout and come back right after these messages.
It's gonna be alright. How can you tell? Yeah, I feel it in my heart.
Lucy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon.
Back to the action here as Kilgore forced to punt, I think for the first time tonight, Jeff. I think this is their first punt tonight. Comes with 3:31 left after putting 66 points up on the board. There pretty much hadn't been time for another punt. This punt goes over the head of the snapper, a la what Gilmer's done. He gets the punt off.
That was pretty amazing. That was pretty impressive. He was able to field that and on the run, punt it down near to the midfield.
Very athletic play there. Once again, kicking game has gone the way of the Bulldogs tonight. As once again, the offense will come back on the field 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 40. And with 3:21 left, a little bit of time here for the Buckeye offense to kind of put a little something together for pride here as the clock will run at the snap of this ball.
Carter still in at quarterback, Carter Johnston. Handoff, Ector, right side. Ector fighting for yardage, refusing to go down, gets down to about the 31.
Great run there by Ector, low center of gravity as he puts his head down and every kind of guys go right over the top of him. He keeps his legs moving, 8 yards on first down. Under 3 minutes to play in this game now. The Buckeyes trying to get double digits on the board.
From the shotgun, here's Johnston. Quarterback keeper, right side. And he's going to get the first down.
Move the chains.
2 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in this game.
A lot of football left in this season, Todd. A lot of football. And a lot of football left in this preseason where obviously lots of things to work on for the Buckeyes. Have been some bright spots that they'll find on film, but lots of missed opportunities that they'll see. This game probably closer than on the field than it is on the scoreboard. But again, Kilgore just has the ability, as great teams do. Now we have the 2-minute timeout. Jeff, we'll take a quick timeout and come back and finish this game right after this.
La Finca Mexican Restaurant is my favorite restaurant in the world. An East Texas favorite for over 37 years. Everyone with any taste agrees La Finca has the best Mexican food in Texas. But I want to share some of my personal favorites with you that maybe you haven't tried yet. Dina and I both love the ribeye steaks at La Finca. Ribeye steak and a baked potato, you can't go wrong. And if you happen to be a hamburger connoisseur, La Finca has one of the biggest and best hamburgers in town. Absolutely fantastic. And finally, never, and I mean never, leave La Finca without having a slice of Olga's homemade carrot cake or tres leche cake. Trust me, it'll change your life forever. La Finca, supporting the Gilmer Buckeyes for over 37 years.
And back to the last 2 minutes of this ball game. Mercifully tonight, if you're a Buckeye fan, this is one of those games that you want to put behind you as quickly as possible. And Buckeye offense not quite finished yet. Extra on the carry.
You know, they have a shirt. You see them around town here. It says it's win or learn. You never lose.
That's right.
You know, you always learn, and this is one of those opportunities, right?
Lots of learning opportunities. And the most important part, Jeff, is that as this young team kind of finds its identity, situational football is going to become very important. And what I mean by that is what is 1st and 10 to 2nd and X look like? Because this team has shown against a really good team, Chapel Hill, and a couple of times tonight that they've got the ability to run the ball. What they don't have the ability against a really good team is to make mistakes and put yourself in holes like 3rd down and 32. That's not something that the Buckeyes are capable of overcoming against a really good team. And that's got to be one of the lessons is who are we and who we have got to be in order to be successful into the playoffs is a very disciplined team that does not hurt themselves. And so far, if we look at the Chapel Hill game last week where we had a 20-6 lead going in at halftime and then came out and gave Chapel Hill opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, another good and athletic team that took advantage of it. And then put us in a situation where we were not capable of, matching fire with fire offensively. And another situation tonight where when we put ourselves in, 3rd down and unmanageable, and we can't keep possession of the ball. We ran 11 plays in the first half, and we had 10 yards of total offense. And we didn't turn the ball over. We just put ourselves in unmanageable situations. And those bad snaps were, kind of reared their head again after the Pine Tree game. Pine Tree, not one of those teams that was capable really of staying with us athletically. And so we wound up winning that game. We're going to win a lot of games this year, Jeff.
Yeah, there's a lot of football, like you say, Todd, left for the year. But this time, it is going to go to the favor of Kilgore, 66-6 against the Buckeyes. Please join us next week in Gilmer in Jeff Traylor Stadium as the Gilmer Buckeyes take on the Lindale Eagles. We'll see you next week.